Hello, my BMX nerd friends. Welcome back to another episode of Kanode Knows. On this, it's maybe the first repeat guest. I think so. It's been over a year since we heard from Trey Jones on the show, and we were talking recently about his Vans part, his Swampfest things happening, and he came on. So it's a good conversation. We could go from talking about Thanksgiving to talking about his Vans part, all the intricacies of working with Gregson, who's an incredible skate filmer, and you probably already know who he is, but he's dope. And then we talk a lot about Swampfest and all the things that go into that and what he's got planned for this coming year. And then we talk about a little bit about pro wrestling at the end. It's a good conversation. I do enjoy Trey and his wild, insane opinions, and he's wild in all the best ways. Been a fan of his biking for as long as I can remember. So it's dope. Hope you guys enjoy this one. What else do I do in the beginnings here? RAR Superfoods. Go to rarlife.com and use promo code Kanode. Get yourself some superfoods. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Share the show with a friend. Yeah, I say that. Okay, that's it. Here's Trey Jones.
John Mata one was
Wild. John Mata's a wild man. Hi, Trey Jones.
Hi, how are you?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, post day.
Did you do Thanksgiving things? Is your family in Florida?
Yeah. My mom and dad and brother and my grandparents all live like within 15 minutes of me. So
Nice.
we met up, did the typical Thanksgiving thing, and that was it. We woke up really early. Actually, we woke up at like 5, and me, Marcel, Dave, Jabe, and Dan Dwyer went to a skate park about an hour away that's no bikes. It's like it's called the Lakeland. It's in Lakeland, Florida. It's where Andrew Reynolds is from. It has like the biggest skate park in all of Florida. It's insane, but it's no bikes. So every Thanksgiving we usually try to like wake up early and mob down there and like go ride for a few hours and
Sick. And that's the only day you can pull it off? Security's tight every other day? You've tried?
Yeah. It's pretty. It's the park is amazing. It's a really. I mean, I know for you guys got.
We're pretty spoiled.
But for us, it's like one of the. It's probably, I would say, like the best skate park in Florida. But and it's just huge. It's so massive. Not like, and I don't mean like the bowls are deeper. It's just like got like everything. Like they have like a bowl that's like all like 5 foot tall. They got like a huge deep bowl. They have a snake run. They have a bunch of street shit. And it's like, it's just really sick. But yeah, we try to go every Thanksgiving, so it was good.
Have you learned any street shit lately? So when you mention the street, I'm like, what's the latest on Trey's mind on doing street shit? What's the latest trick you learned? I just rewatched the Vans part. I saw the slider to full cab, and I like that a lot. There was a couple full cabs in there that I was like, yeah, full cabs, let's go.
Latest street trick that I learned. I did like actually, I guess kind of new. I did like a front pedal, like nollie hard 180. Like I'd never done that.
Yeah.
And I filmed one of those recently, and I was like pretty psyched because I haven't gotten a.
As you should. I feel like even just a front pedal regular hard 180 is impossible. But
I have a weird love-hate relationship with all the hard 180 pedal grind shit going on nowadays. You want to hear my you want to hear the philosophy? Yeah, I always argue with Marcel about this. Well, not really him because he doesn't do it, but okay, so like somebody like Ian Schwartz.
Yeah.
When Ian Schwartz did back pedal grind hard 180, it was like that shit was gnarly because it was like, he's not just taking his feeble hard 180 skills and just applying it to a pedal grind. He's like, he doesn't know how to do feeble hard 180s, and he's doing it out of a pedal grind. So it's like, and he's doing it switch. So it's like a triple negative. And like whenever I've done a handful, and I feel the same way. Like when I go to do it, it's like I'm going to fucking battle. Like I'm like, I haven't done one besides the one we just talked about, but I haven't done them in a long time, and it's really hard. But now when I see the new school kids, they do like the front pedal grind. They just like do the fucking the twitch like hard 180 out, and they make it look all easy. I'm like, no, you're not allowed to do that trick. You can't just take your feeble hard 180 know-how and
you can't just be good at it.
You can't just like take the pegless guy trick and just do it. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? It's like if Logan Martin like did like a truck driver down a big set of stairs or a double whip down a set of stairs, you'd be like, no, you're just taking your ramp skills and you're applying them to the wrong medium. Just stay
over there.
Like,
keep your pegs on.
You got the pegs. Just do the thing. Like I don't know. I was filming with Bajarki when we were in Philly this summer, and he wanted to do one, and I was like, dude, man, that's fucked up, man. And he's like, what? And I told him, he was just like, you're insane. I've never heard that ever.
It's pretty insane, Trey. It's like, you're too good at
this. But it's for me. I'm coming from a pegless standpoint. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I'm like, I'm offended because I'm like, whenever I go to do a hard 180, I'm like, this makes no sense. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like,
I've been doing them for 10 years. They still make no sense for me. Even just out of feebles, not pedal grinds. I can't even imagine.
I just don't like.
But your logic is flawed for sure. You can't do it because you're too good at it. You make it look good.
Well, no, because you know what I mean. Like,
I know what you mean, like, but it's a reach.
I know, I'm insane. I know. But like when I've done front pedal hard 180s, I like go off the end of the ledge, and I'm like, like trying with all my might to get it around, and I do it. And then I see like guys that are just like, they're like just chilling in. They're just like, they just like kind of do that weird twitch thing, and they just go around. And I'm like,
how'd you do that? How the fuck did you do that?
Like, I don't understand it. And I'm just jealous that like, maybe if I would have kept my pegs on longer, then I would have learned the hard 180.
Maybe.
And I could have just applied it. But I'm like, at 31 years old, you're not learning hard 180s out of pedal grinds.
Learning new tricks at this point is a stretch, especially like I mean, I don't even know if it's the age thing, but just getting hurt. I'm not willing to like eat shit. I mean, you are willing to eat shit, but I'm not, not trying to learn anything new. But this makes me think about like how good kids actually are. Like there's so many people that can do all the pedal grind to hard 180 and how popular the pedal grind is becoming again, and all the like Mickey Fleck just making it look incredible. The shit where your bike is all the way up into your chest while you're grinding. It's like a lip slide on a bike, but it's pretty.
I hate it, man.
Do you hate it?
I hate that everybody. It's just like
that it's popular now. Yeah, because you're like, this was my thing.
I just hate bandwagon riding. Period. Like I just hate it. Period. Where it's like, I mean, when it went from like 2 pegs to 3 pegs, and everybody's like, oh, I put a 3rd peg on, and it's like, why? You don't fucking do 3rd peg shit there, and then everybody put 4, and it's like, oh, I put 4 pegs on. It's like, why? Just to be cool? Like, I always
4 pegs for more tricks.
It's like, look, now we can do front pedal grinds, and it's like, yeah, people have been doing that for years. Like all of a sudden now it's like, yeah, look at this cool new trick, like, because all the guys in Barcelona do it. It's like, fuck off. No. Everybody's just copying Simone, so it doesn't even matter.
You know what else? That's very true, and as they should. Who did I see? I just saw. I don't know. Oh, I saw somebody do. Oh, was it Laverde Santiago in the new one of the new Odyssey videos, either Feast or Bunched Up, or I think it was Feast, and he did a crank arm down a famous spot in California to like foot plant 180 like Simone did in What Could Go Wrong, and I was like, hey, there's Simo. There's like, you see Simo showing up in everybody's web videos, it's pretty.
It's disgusting.
It's beautiful.
I love Simo. I think that he is like, we were talking about the other day, and it's like, and I don't want to blow him up too much because I know he'll hate this so much. But it's like he is like one of the only bike riders currently that's like, he's beyond what we do.
Yeah,
he views it. He's beyond the mentality of the way people do stuff, and he's so talented, and he has such a vision of like what he wants that he can just make anything work. Whatever trick it is. Like a lot of people don't know this, but like if he sees somebody doing a trick that he was like, oh, I like doing pickup bar ice pick chink, and then he sees an Instagram video of somebody doing it, he's like, nope, don't do that trick anymore. Done, move along. Yeah. And it's like the only other person I can think of that like did that was like Edwin. You know, Edwin was like the guy that like he did crank flips and exit rides, and then as soon as people started doing it, he's like, nope, I'm backing off. I'm going in this lane. And it's like that's special.
It really is.
That's a special thing to be able to do that and be successful at it, you know? Because like, yeah, I could go in a whole different lane, and it's like if I look like a fucking idiot, then it doesn't matter, you know. But like,
what the hell is Trey Jones doing now?
Yeah, like what the fuck? What is he doing? Like, people already say
putting wood in the pool. Other people start putting wood on top of pools, and that you're like, nope, no more of that shit.
no more pool riding. But SEMO is like so. I mean, dude, it's comical to me that I see like top pro bike riders just straight jacking this shit, and I'm just like, you guys are so fucking whack. You're so whack. That's like all of a sudden like a top level pro is like doing like an over crank arm on a ledge and then fucking table topping off it. And it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, stop, please.
You know what, like, I haven't seen somebody do yet is in that one video. I forget that it was the one. I don't know. It's an amazing Simone video. Anyway, he does like nose manual to like downside pedal slide while in the nose manual still. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a two stack ledge. He comes up, rides in a nose manual, and then puts the pedal that you shouldn't be able to put down and grind. Anyway, whatever. I haven't seen many people do that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single soul do that.
The one that he did not too long ago, he did like a switch feeble, like it was like a flat ledge. He did switch feeble and then dropped down into back pedal and then did 360 front pedal like bonk on the way out. And I was like, how do you even think of that?
What the fuck, dude?
How do you even think of that? And you make it look good and easy.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, he's got that combination of like where he can just like be like, I think maybe I do this and bing, boom, and then he just goes and does it. And you're like, how, dude? How?
What the
like,
fuck, Simo? And he's like,
it's amazing.
Super humble, super low key. Like I've bugged him so many times to try and talk on this. He's like, man, no. I'm like, no, of course not. He's
That's what I'm saying. It's like he's beyond it. Like he's beyond what we do. You know what I mean? Like
a true artist
like myself are like, oh, I'll fucking get out here and plug all my shit. Like look like look like an idiot. But he's just so beyond it, and I respect what he does so much, Big time. And it's just so
big brain artist activities. So and just like having the foundation of like, you look at Simo as a kid and it all kind of makes sense, or like that path makes sense where you learn every single trick possible. Like he can do everything, but then like over time, you just like, it just shapes into this. He's a sculptor as well as a graffiti artist.
He's selective. He's like really selective. And like, even if it's something, like there's nothing worse than like if I have an idea for a trick and I go and I try really hard and I do it and I look at it and I hate it. And like that's the worst, But he's like, if he has an idea, he does it until it's exactly what the vision is in his head. And most people don't like have that. I mean, do you like the clip of doing the 360 down the set of stairs and he brushes his front wheel on a wall, like inward style?
Yeah.
What? Like, how do you even do that?
Yeah. How do you think of that? Like, did that happen by accident?
Look good and not look stupid and be like, what the fuck was that? He just fucking hit his like, but he does it so well, and like it's amazing. He's incredible. Could
you? It's funny because I'm visualizing Simone and I just think of his tire pressure being 27. Could you ride with Simo's tire pressure and do the things that you do?
I can't. I cannot.
What do you run your tire pressure at?
If I'm riding like a skate park or like any type of like bigger transition, not bigger, but like, like normal transition, especially if it's concrete, around like 65, 70.
That's not too hard.
And then if I ride street, maybe like 50. I don't know. I kind of just let it fly wherever it goes. I don't like pay attention to it until like the other day when we were at that skate park. And I was like trying to like nose manual like up this like little like tight transition thing, and my like shit kept hitting rim, and I was like, okay, this is way too low. I need to fix this. And then I pumped up like way too hard.
Monitor your PSI. You just like you have one of those little tire gauges. You're like, okay, it's 69. I'm ready to ride.
No, I mean my bike's always beat to shit. So it's always like the bars are crooked or tire pressure's too low or chains too. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. So
because it's just it's your tool, it's your machine, dude. Lately, I've been letting my shit go down a little bit more than I should. Like I'm full cabbing into the wedge, and I can see on the clips that I didn't make it. Like it's straight up just folding over. I'm like, I'm a pretty large man, so to not ride PSI is kind of hilarious. But it feels really good. Like it felt so weird at first, but
I don't
having
like the
everything
drag.
be soft is kind of nice.
But I don't like the drag. I don't like how it feels like it's like dragging.
Yeah, carving for threes is different.
Yeah, it's like like I don't. No, I don't.
No,
I can't. I get what you're saying, but like I can't.
it's different.
Ride the way I like to ride. But I'm also that way with like I can't ride really wide tires. I can't ride like an obnoxiously like wide tires. I need to be I don't go bigger than a 2.2523.
Yeah, I remember when 2.5 was like the biggest tire, like
Like
everybody was
like
running 1.95s and 2.10s.
because it's weird. Like if I do like nose manual shit with a really big tire and I try to do like any type of carving thing, I feel like I don't know, it's weird. Like I don't like the way it feels. Like I can't cut like as hard on stuff whenever my shit's like really really big. So
I just remembered that's why the PSI is low, because I got the new Colt Vans tires and they started rubbing on the fork. Like the fork's not big enough for how big that tire is. And so I was like, okay. And then I'm just hearing and I'm like, yeah, I either got to get new forks or just let some air out. And then I let air out, and
I believe that you let air out and it shriveled the tire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. They're dope tires. I love them. Paid full price at Unity. Shout out Unity.
Good man. Good man.
Got to support the local bike shops. What was I going to ask? Pegless. I was like envisioning the latest footage I saw of you. You've kind of always been pegless in my mind. Have you ever been pegs guy? I'm thinking back to like old.
I mean, when I was like, I mean, obviously when I was really, really, really young, like I think I took my pegs off like permanently, like to where we are now. Probably 2009, maybe.
You're committed permanently. Like you just saying permanently on peg choice is wild to me. Like you just never. Are you ever gonna put pegs on?
I mean, I mess around. Like I literally posted like a 2 peg clips like early like last week or something like that.
Okay.
Just messing around. Like I built a new spine in my backyard and I was like, ooh, this would be cool to do like some stall stuff on it. Like and so I kind of like mess around with it a little bit, but it's like I'm at where I'm at. Like I'm not, it's not gonna change.
Yeah.
Like yeah. I where I'm at, like especially now that I've kind of like established like putting brakes back on, I think I'm there. Like I'll take brakes on and off and mess around. I take my brakes off when I feel like I'm too dependent on them. Like when I start feeling like I like an old man where I'm like, oh, like I feel like I can't. I immediately take the brakes off. I'm like, I need to get used to riding brakeless again, so I don't ever lose that. I'll take them off for like like a month or two, and then be like, okay, I want to put it back on.
That's an interesting thing because it is like a different mental piece with riding without brakes versus with brakes. Yeah,
it is weird. Like I think we're all just so used to it because we all been brakeless for so long.
Yeah,
that it's like when you forget what it's like when you first took your brakes off and you were like, oh my God, like, but I do it to make sure I don't lose that sometimes. So
yeah, it's like almost an intangible thing. You just took me right back to being like 16 and taking the brakes off and being like, whoa, it's freeing.
Yeah, it's weird,
feels right? It felt so good to just have minimalism and not have like the noise of the brakes and the squeaks and all the extra rattling when you jump around.
I pretty much just use brakes like as necessity now. Like I'm not like Chase Hawk, like wheelie boying it everywhere. I'm just kind of like I just have them if I need them, like just because it's nice.
I never learned that shit. The manual with the brakes. That's like before my time. But dude, could you do? So I just finished watching your Vans part again. Could you? I'm trying to picture that last clip without having brakes, and that would be dangerous.
Oh yeah, no, See, that's what I'm saying. Like that's just like out of necessity, where it's like, oh, this is a lot easier if I have brakes on.
Yeah. Did I see tents? Did you guys camp out in a
So that's a pretty funny story. That whole dam situation is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I got that spot from a spot homie that we swapped spots with. And we were driving up the coast. It was like it's in Maryland, I think it is, or something like that. I don't know. And I was with Dave and Marcel, and I was like, I had seen photos of it. I was like, yo, let's go to this thing. And I was like, maybe we could camp there. Like, cause it was it's in like the middle of nowhere. It's like way out in the woods. So we just like renegaded. We pulled off, like it's like a little nature trail that you can kind of walk. And we like pulled in and we just like loaded up all of our gear and like we were like, okay, like because we were probably like a mile and a half like trek through the woods to get to it. And so we just took off. It was like the middle of the night. We were just like riding through the woods, like with just headlamps on. We got there, like, or we had no idea where we were going. I get there, and like it was so dark that all I could see was like the silhouette of it with like the night sky and like a line, like where the top of the dam was. And I was like, dude, this thing looks like it's like 100 feet tall. Like, but you couldn't really tell. So we set up camp, and then when we woke up in the morning, I was like, holy shit, dude, this thing is massive.
Big boy.
But the problem is that it was really wet when I went. Like it was really, really wet. So I just like did like an alley oop like down like one, like in the banger I did, like I went down, I like skipped two, but this one I just went down one. And I was like, all right, well, maybe one day I'll come back and do it again. So about a year later, we were going back through, and I was like, oh, let's start at it again. We stopped at it again, and I carved down two of them because it was dry. And Dave and Marcel filmed it. We were gonna keep it for a video, and that was it. And then about 3 weeks later, I was doing a trip with Vish in the Northeast, where that cult video that just came out. And he was like, yeah, do you have anything for a banger? And I was like, we were probably in Jersey, and this is in Maryland, so it's about 4 hours away. And I was like, dude, I do have this crazy spot that we could go to. I could refilm it with you if you want. So we went back. Vish filmed that clip. Gregson did not film that. So we went back. I filmed it with Vish and shot a photo with Delecki. And then I showed Gregson my timeline of like the trip that we went on. He's like, dude, we need that clip for the video. We need that clip for the video. We need it. And I was like, really? Because it wasn't like that. It's not that difficult. It's just like it just looks insane.
Yeah.
Because the dam is mellow enough to where you can kind of like ride the wall for a while. So I was like, dude, if I just ride out and I ride out as far as I can and then just point it straight down, like I'll probably be,
Good.
out far enough. And so I done it like 4 times. And but yeah, Gregson wanted it, and I called Robbie and I was like, hey dude, no. Gregson calls Robbie. Gregson just cold calls Robbie, and he's just like, dude, I saw Trey's timeline. Is there any way we can get that for his band's part? I really think it's gonna take it over the top. And Robbie was like, if that's what's best for Trey, then that's fine. Like I'm cool with it. Like whatever nice. Whatever you need to do. So huge shout out to Robbie for
shout out Gregson for taking that initiative.
He's crazy.
I love that. That's great. He's passionate.
Yeah, well, it's just like we had worked so hard on that part, and that he was like, this is gonna be because we didn't really have like a definitive
banger
at that point.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, this is the one. We need it. And I was like, yeah.
I like your impression.
I was kind of like, I didn't really care, honestly. Like I was like, oh yeah, I think this is Van's video, the Colt thing, whatever. I don't really care. But he was like, we need it. And I was like, all right, well, if you can convince Robbie, he paid for that trip. So if he's down to let it go, that's the person that you got to talk to. That's not up to me. Like I didn't pay for that shit. So yeah. Robbie was really cool about it, and he got it. So and we had enough stuff for the Colt video too, so it was all good.
That's bomb. Just thinking about the amount of work that went into a 15-minute video part of like nonstop action with follow filming. That's like I was thinking about it during one clip that I could tell was in Florida, and I was just thinking back to living in Florida, and I was like, I don't like Florida, but they make it look so good. Like the way that you guys filmed made it look so fucking good. And I don't know so leading up to the question of like, what do you think was the most difficult choreography? Because there was some where like your guys are
Oh,
going back and
the one in the
forth on
barn
a.
was the hardest for
I
sure.
bet, yeah.
Like
I saw
fit,
the
like
B
fit,
the
like fit, like
BTS.
fit physically. Physically, it was like the most demanding, and not even like a, not even like a difficulty level. Just like it was really hot. We had to start like 3 stories up. You know what I mean? So it's like what would happen is like we would like, I mean, you can tell in the beginning of the clip, like I'm literally like forehead on my crossbar, like
Yeah.
head down because it's so the roof was so low at the top. So like I'm riding with my head down, like like going through and doing all this stuff, trying to not make it look like shit, trying to make it look like kind of good. And then Chris is behind me, and
And he's crouched down
I went
too.
on the
The camera just.
and then I went down. Yeah. And it was easy when I went down to the second floor wasn't bad. I carved over the door. That was good. And then when I went down into the third one, I went down and then into that bowl. And then I had to do like the 90 that went up onto that roller. That was so difficult because I was so tired and it was so hot at that point where like I would get up and I literally would go up and it was like one bike length of like, yeah, and then like back in. And it's like, it's like a 6-7 foot drop into that bowl. So it's like I had to like make sure I was on it without like bitch cranking like off the end of it,
Right.
So I landed that, then I had to keep going and then do the wall ride. And it was like all the tricks individually weren't that difficult. It was just like that it added up to so much. And if I fucked up, then we had to climb all the
All
way
over
back
again.
up.
Yeah.
Throw my bike up on the thing, climb up the ladder, throw my bike up on another thing, climb up another ladder, get up and sit there and be in the ceiling again. And it was just like, and then Chris is like there, like waiting. And it was just like, it was really brutal. Like everything that went into it, like the line itself, like I wish I could have done with a lot of those lines. Like I wish I could have done more tricks, but I don't have a lot of tricks. So it's like, it was hard to just not do like, tire slide, bonk, tire slide, tabletop,
Right.
I was trying to like find stuff to do, but so a lot of those lines, but then Chris made the point, he's like, no, dude, it's the idea that like, we're filming a really long line and like I'm filming it and we're going through all these crazy things. And I was like, yeah, so I was really happy with the way it was perceived because like I was really worried on my end that like my riding wasn't on like
Which is fair, but that's
the
the
highest
trade-off.
level.
Like
You know what I mean?
you're trading off like giving the highest level of you riding to like create this team effort that is a beautiful thing that nobody else could do, which is so sick. Like it's just like I don't know, a psychedelic trip for 15 minutes straight of just like I can't believe, and because like you stop thinking about you at one point and you're like, holy shit, the filmer's like going through this and this, and it's a team effort and it's pretty dope.
It's crazy.
What's the like process of choreographing it, or when you show up to a I don't know, a backyard that has some crazy shit, like who's calling out? Are you saying like, okay, I can do this, and he's like, oh, I can follow you here? Like, what's it look like?
So usually I'll have like I'm trying to think. Like there was usually it's like there's the line where I do like a curve wall ride and then hop into a bowl and go around a bowl and then hop out. And it's like I kind of ride for a little bit and figure out what I want to do. Like figure out like, oh well that thing over there is cool. That thing over there is cool. I like this feature. How can I do something on this? And then once I figure out like the best trick that I can do on each thing, I try to figure out how I can connect them. And then if there's any dead space in between, how do I fill those dead spaces? And then once I kind of figure out the line of the way it's going to go, I tell Gregson and then he tells me what's possible. He's like, okay, like I can get you to here, to here, to here, but I can't get to there. Yeah. So can you do something here instead? Or sometimes he's like, yeah, I got you. No problem.
Hell yeah.
And like, I'll be like, are you sure, dude? Like, cause when I land, cause I'm usually going a lot faster than he is. So there have been times where I'll be like, I'll gain speed out of nowhere, or, he has to speed up, or like sometimes like there was the one line where I do the wall, like I do the curve wide 450 over the globe thing. And he was going to go behind me and like, go down the corridor like that. And then I was going to go around to the 450. And he's like, I think it might be better if I'm in front of you. And he was having to like push backwards, to like stay in front of me because I was going faster than him. And it's like, he's just good. that. He just knows. Like a lot of times he won't even explain to me. Like he'll be like, "Yeah, I got you," and I'm like, "Are you sure, dude? Like you can like, yeah, don't worry." Like, and he'll just like kind of feel it out his own way.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing, dude. It's pretty amazing, and it's like, you know, it's pretty raw. Like as far as like, yeah, he's using a red, but it's just a handle and a red camera and a skateboard.
Yep.
That's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like it's not, he doesn't have this big old gimbal set up and he's running all over the place. It's like, he's making like a masterpiece out of nothing and or out of very few tools. You know what I mean? Like most of the time we don't even have a second angle.
Yeah.
Like most of the time. And I'm used to working with Chadwick where it's like one long lens and then one tripod, right? Or it's a fish and a tripod. Like that's the way, like, I grew up in the Stu Johnson, 2 angles. That's it. That's how you do it. And with Gregson, it's completely different. It's completely different where it's like, we only have one angle. So we got to make it count and we got to figure it out or else I have to do it twice. So it's really, it is a very interesting process, and filming the video with Chris was definitely way different than anything I'd ever done before. And I'm stoked that it turned out, because when we were like halfway through, I'm like, dude, I don't know what I got. I don't really know if it's like up to my standards, because it's like, it's different with Chris because it's more like him taking me to spots, be like, hey, check out this guy's pool, we'll go here. And I get there and I'm like, okay. And he's like, okay, what do you want to get? And it's hard when you've only been there for 10 minutes. You got to film a video part clip, like that's difficult. Where like a lot of times, like when we did No Fun, it was like I had spots lined up and shit that I wanted to do, and we just went to them. Right. And I had the idea where it was different, where the roles were reversed this time, where Chris taking me to spots. I mean, like, what do you think? I mean, there was a few things that I was like, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. But
like what? What pops into your mind when you say that? What was like
him presenting ideas and me presenting ideas?
Yeah, like what ideas did you present, or what spots in that video were,
like when we went to Sacramento, I wanted to go to that globe with the curved wall right around it, the one that I did the 450 on. I wanted to go there. I was like, dude, I need to go here. And then one that I'm trying to think, I'm like, I haven't watched that video in a minute, so I'm trying to think of shit off the top of my head. Like I remember we were just like in downtown LA, and he was like, oh, Jason Lee Banks are here, well, let's just go here. And he's like, what do you want to do here? And I'm like, and I was like trying to figure out.
Those are the tight little trainees.
Yes.
LA, yeah. You killed it there. I was so impressed. I was just like, damn, he's milked that spot.
See, like that,
so good.
But it's like there are a few things in that line that are just like, I feel like I'm filling dead space because the lines are so long.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not, Chadwick usually doesn't do long lines, and Vish doesn't usually do long lines. So like, I'm not used to, it was a lot different process of learning how to film a 45-second line.
Yeah.
It's hard because I don't,
and it can't all be bangers, dude. You have to do the fill.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if it was Kevin Peraza, he could be like, okay, truck off this, 3 down whip off this, 3 whip this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't have that. So it was a lot of me trying to find the balance of like utilizing the whole place, making sure Chris's filming is insane, and making sure my riding is up to a par that I'm happy with.
Right.
And I think once I saw the video done, I was happy with it, but I was definitely concerned a few times of like, fuck, dude, like, did I do enough? Like, like, is this good enough? You know what I mean? But then once I had new eyes on it, and people were like, that was insane that you blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't that hard. So I didn't really know, I don't like, and also it's like, it's different filming with Chris because since he's not a bike rider, I can't refer to BMX clips of the past. Like with Chadwick or Vish or something like that, I can be like, yo, I want to do like a tire slide on this rail, but like, that clip of Brian Yeagle and Anthem where he goes up and he just like lays into it. I was like, I want to get one like that. And they're like, oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. Where with Chris, it's like, I'll do it and he'll be like, was that good? You pulled that one? Like, and I'm like, no, dude, I wasn't laid into it enough. And he'd be like, oh, okay, well, so you want to be like more like this? And I'm like, yeah. So it was a really cool process that was just completely different than anything I'd ever done
Yeah.
before, but me and Chris had already filmed like a few things together prior to this project, so like he's learned a lot of like
Yeah.
um
He's learned a lot.
what to do, what not to do, you know,
Yep.
like
But
like
there's
if we
also
like
something so pure about like having the filmer not be familiar with, not be like tainted by past
yeah
BMX, and just like
yeah
having that perspective of like, oh, this is cool, and something that you might not think is cool or up to your par. Like he's like, you're riding your bike on that, you know, and there's something so
yeah
cool about that. Like
yeah
the lower
yeah
bar of
he's
just like outside perspective is kind of refreshing.
yeah no it was super cool, and like Chris started to learn things that he uh he started to learn the techniques of things. Like if I would like if we went to a pool and I was like, yeah, I want to do this and I want to come through and do like a table on this. He's like, all right, cool, yeah, fisheye from the deck. I got it. Like, cause
The
he
shot
knows,
from the deck. Yeah.
he knows, like, okay, if I get under it, it looks more folded. I like he understands it, you know.
Yeah.
Or if it's like, or if I'm doing a tuck no hander on something, he's like, okay, like if I'm shooting fish, it's gotta be from behind or front because I have to see both your arms. I can't do it from the side because then I get the one arm, you know. And he like learned that from me, you know, of doing it. But now he knows where it's like if I'm gonna do a trick, he's like, okay, cool, I gotta get in front or I gotta get behind, right? You know, he understands. I mean, he's a videographer. And he's a skate filmer, so he understands the shit's got to look right and it's got to look good. And I think I'm pretty picky about what I want. You know, like I've never been the type of rider where I've been like, hey, I want to do a 3 table in this jump, and then the filmer is like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know, do whatever. Like I've
Yeah.
always been like, oh, if it's fisheye and if it's on this side, like I crank my tables more this way so it looks like I just have that in
Yep.
my brain, you know, of like what I want. And so it's easier for me to work with Chris because I can give him guidance on like what I'm going for.
Right.
He also has his take on it as well of like what he thinks is cool. But yeah, the whole project was crazy. It was just like I was in so many situations that I would never be in on a BMX trip. It was like, I don't know, it was the best. It was so much
Well,
fun.
turned out pretty damn good. It makes me
Oh,
think
thank you.
because like you're a director as well as a biker at this point. Like, your like whole
Kind
career,
of.
every I feel like everything since you were a kid has been on camera. So like, there's no way that you wouldn't know what's good and how it works. And like, who did you first start filming with when you were like? I
Mm.
know we talked about this last time, but like your first sponsorship story, summarize it again for me. Like, who was your first sponsor, and then who was your first filmer that you were on with the trip? Was it Colt?
Uh,
No, it was
no, no,
Fit.
no, 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 no. So my first like sponsor me tape was filmed by Johnny Devlin. Johnny, me and
Sick.
Devlin made two like full length videos of like guys in our scene. Like Pat King had a part, Mark Mulville had a part, Devlin had a part, Ricky Bates had a part. Like it was like all like the older guys like in the scene
Yeah,
that
this is
I looked up to.
pre-band.
Yeah.
Sick.
Way pre-band. So like like Johnny was already like the guy that had the camera and was filming stuff. And, you know, when I was like, God, I had to be 10 maybe.
Sheesh. Yeah.
Like yeah, probably 10. Like Johnny was like, yeah, let's like obviously, you know, like, oh well maybe I could get sponsored, you know, whatever. And Johnny's like, oh well, I'll film a sponsor me tape for you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like so Devlin had filmed two of those for me. And then I worked with Brett Rolfing a little bit when I was younger, and then
That
that
name
went
sounds
south.
familiar. What
But
what
then
else
that,
did Brett Rolfing do? Where do I know
uh,
that name from?
he did
BMX,
a bunch of
obviously, but
he did a bunch of stuff for like ESPN and shit like that back in the day. But then like that was kind of when Chadwick came in the picture. Chadwick kind of came in the picture, and he became like my main dude, you know, as far as like he he was the main guy that I wanted to work with at that time, you know.
what
And
was your
then
first impression of Chadwick?
first impression, I don't know, he was great.
Yeah. was
Yeah, he
he
was
was
awesome.
he long-haired Chadwick at that time? Or short-haired Chadwick?
No. He was short hair. The first time that I met Chadwick was on when we did that uh Southwest trip from Vegas to San Diego.
LaShawn in there too?
It was a crazy crew. It was me, John Paul Rogers was TM at the time.
Nice.
Chadwick was there because he was trying to get a ride from Vegas to Phoenix, and he helped film. Miles was the filmer.
Nice.
LaShawn, Nikki Croft, Paul Ryan, Scott Ditchburn, Drew Bazanton.
God damn.
Who else was there?
What a squad. Seth Kimbrough? No.
No, Seth wasn't there. Who else was there? Sure.
Yep.
There were like 12 people.
This is insane. Like where the iconic Goody photos come from, where somebody's doing something on like the sticker of Chadwick, where he's
in the truck. That's where that yeah. So it was like a Southwest. It was like a Southwest trip, and I went on that. Oh, I think Ben Huckey wasn't there. That was before he was on Shadow. I don't know. There was a bunch of people. It was like
that's
12
a person
people.
I haven't thought about in forever. You named a couple right there that I was like, oh yeah, like Ben Huckey.
Do you remember that? Oh, fuck, what was Levi's last name? Levi. Fuck, he wrote for Sabrosa. He's from England. Levi.
What the fuck?
I don't know. He was there too. I think it was called Shadow Southwest.
Levi Rogers?
Yeah. I think he was there. I think he was there. There was a bunch of European guys. And then we stopped in Phoenix and we stayed at Brandon's house, the one that was right near ASU.
Mm-hmm.
And that was crazy. And then, that was a great trip. But that was the first time I met Chadwick. And he got the Shadow TM job on that trip because John Paul was like, I don't want to fucking do this shit. This sucks. And like, he saw that Chadwick was a good filmer, and he was like, all right, you can do it. And like, just kind of like just gave him the keys to like, yeah, here we go. Go for it.
He's perfect for that because he's like the perfect blend of like, he's laid back and cool, but also like type A. I don't know if he's type A, but he's like detail oriented and like got everybody kind of like, he's a little bit dad vibe, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. He's great for that job. Yeah. I wish that he still could have been Shadow TM. That would have been great. But
yeah, he's the shit.
But yeah, but so he moved to Florida for the job, and immediately we started filming together, and we filmed like a fork promo, the backyard at the trails, and then he filmed a welcome to the pro team video of me.
Mm-hmm. That's how long
ago it was. Yeah, I think it was 2010.
Wild, dude. 13 years ago. Sheesh.
Great. I still lived in my mom and dad's house. I was still in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2009. No, it could have been 2009, was it?
Welcome to Pro.
I don't know.
Shadow Welcome to Pro.
I think it was like January of 2010 or something.
2011, Trey Jones, Welcome to the Pro team.
2011.
Yeah. Damn, look at this young punk buck in Phoenix too.
Yeah, there was Phoenix footage and
12 years ago. Wow, that's wild. This is crazy to look at and then like move the screen over and see you right now. Like, look at this.
It's so kid. Weird, right?
You done been doing it.
But yeah, so Chadwick became like my main guy, but Navaz was filming for Cult at the time.
Yeah. That was a good era of Cult.
And that kind of became, then it was like we let him talk and talk as sheep with Navaz, and then it became Vish.
Yeah. And then Vish.
But I had already filmed with Vish for Fit like years before that. So I'd known Vish then. And then when he was the Fox filmer during that time too.
Yep.
So like I was filming with Vish for Fox at the time and Navaz. So Chadwick, Navaz, and Vish all at the same time. And then Vish obviously took over.
It's crazy to think of shit and with companies in terms of like filmer eras, but it can be like that. Like for Cult, Navazio, and then Vish, and then now Eddie's kind of stepping up. Like what's
Eddie's
up?
done a few things.
I love Eddie's. Like the Barcelona video that they did was vibes. Good job, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie's great. But yeah, it was I feel like when a brand has a filmer, like a assigned filmer, maybe not nowadays, but like back in the day, it was like it was very I feel like that's very important to a brand.
That was my next question, is like, how important do you think that is? Because
for sure, dude.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. And it doesn't really make financial sense a lot of the times, but like, I mean, Daryl with Kink, Vij with Cult, Chadwick with Shadow, even Miles with Sabrosa. Like,
that was an era.
It's undeniable that these people create the image of or a part of the image of the brand. I'm not saying that like
it's
brand managers, but it's like between the artist and the filmers, it like makes the brand what it is. And it's like,
and you almost like get to expect, and you know that if that filmer's doing it, then it's going to be good because they know what's up. It's wild how that shit works.
But all that shit flew out the window now in BMX, so it doesn't matter.
Because everybody's got 4K 120 frames per second videos on their phones. I'm loving it, dude. Lately I go out by myself with a little tripod thing that I got, and I set it up, and I like trying to find a good frame vertically, and I don't have anybody to be embarrassed by when I take 20 minutes to do a 180 or a fucking half cab, whatever the fuck it is. But are you going out and doing solo? Do you ride alone and try and get clips?
No.
Ever? No,
never.
It's a social thing.
Absolutely cannot ride by myself.
Not even in your backyard. You get some laps in the backyard.
Not by myself. Never.
What?
Every once in a while, I don't find that fun. There's nothing fun. There's nothing fun about that. Like, I would rather ride a curb with Dave and Marcel and my brother than ride
the coolest spot alone,
Woodward, by myself.
Interesting.
Like, it doesn't, like, there's nothing. Yeah, like the act of riding is fun, but it's interacting, your friend trying something, like laughing at that. That's funny. You should try this. Hey, let's play a game of like that. For me, like, and I'm not really a social person, period, but like that to me is like the best. It's the best shit.
I agree.
Like, that for me, like that's what it's all about. Like, so I can't. But like Marcelo go ride by himself, and I'm like, how? Like, I just don't get the enjoyment out of it. I don't see what's fun about, or it's not fun to me. At least,
what do you do instead? What do you do alone? You work on ramps alone, huh? Like, what you know what I mean? Like, I'm picturing a morning routine of Trey Jones, and in my head I could picture like he hops on.
What do you think it is? What do you think?
Well, he wakes up and he's like, man, I'm pretty thirsty because you're just chronically dehydrated, you know. I don't know why I think you're I think it's because of the Dr. Pepper in the past. But that's still not a thing, right? Or are we back on soda?
I haven't drank Dr. Pepper in like 4 years, maybe.
Okay, so we're just gonna go with my fantasy. You wake up and you shotgun a Dr. Pepper, just
like,
yeah. Oh, my guy, dude. I love it.
I know you're a fan. I know you're a fan.
Biggest fan of ZBI. I got a 12 pack in the fridge right now.
It's great.
Great flavor too.
It's a great curver. It's like vaping soda.
It's vaping soda. That's real, dude. And it's
real. 100%.
It just got better because now you're chugging a Zevia, which I love even more. And then you Stone Cold Steve Austin, throw it out, and then you're just in your underwear and you don't even put shoes on. No, I don't wear underwear. Okay, you're in your, which is essentially your underwear is just your jean shorts. Okay, and then you kiss Shorty, you pet your dogs, you go outside, and then you're in your backyard ramp. You take a couple laps, and you're like, "There's my exercise." And then it's kind of funny to picture you going like, "Gotta hit the gym and hit the cold plunge and sauna." And
I promise you that is not happening.
I'm a professional athlete. I got to, and you're meditating, and you're like, and then that's a bomb ass morning routine.
You were saying, me and Dave were talking about is you know how Courage has put out those videos of him like waking up in the morning and doing all the shit. Dave's like, we should make like a parody one where he's like, I wake up and I stand up and I'm like, oh god. And like your scabs like stuck to the sheet, and you're like, fuck. And you like drink like a half drinking Red Bull on the counter, and you go to walk to the kitchen, you like stub your toe on something, you're like, fuck. You like walk out, and you're like you go to get your truck, and your truck's like doesn't start, and you're like, god damn it. Like, and it's like the complete opposite of just like the shittiest morning ever. Of like just like the full reality of like bed not made, just you like first thing you do, like you wake up at noon, you go to McDonald's, you're just like, you have like a few quarters, you have like $2 in quarters. You're like, okay, I'll just take this. Like,
Yep.
so funny.
I would
But
love that. I want to actually know your morning routine, but let's touch on that Courage Adams stuff because it's like almost too perfect. He's like spraying his bed with something, and I was just like, dude, what are you spraying your bed with? This is like it's a fragrance for some Febreze or something. I was like, let's go, Courage. And the writing is so good that you stay and you watch that whole thing because you know he's gonna do something nuts at the end. It's a little bait and switch. He's got us, dude. He's got us. Do you know Courage?
I just know him just of this like see him at contests and shit. But I've never like hung out with him. It's pretty insane.
It's not he's a robot. It's not even real life shit.
You ever seen it in person?
I did. I got the privilege of seeing it once in Barcelona, maybe 10 years ago, 13 years ago. But even then, it was still nuts. It's just like
it's doesn't look real.
I bet. Yeah.
Real life. It's when you like I saw him at Hastings and he was doing like the long nose manual across the whole bowl, and I was just like, you're like, that's real. He really does that right now. Yeah. He really can do that. Like, yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, but I don't know. My morning routine. I usually have one even. I usually wake up pretty early. Not really. I wake up pretty early, usually around like 7 or so. And then since I stopped drinking soda, look, I'm the worst fucking health.
You're a health influencer. Shut up. You're a health influencer.
No, I'm not. I am not. I try, like, me trying to be a little healthy is still really bad.
Okay, really let's hear it.
But if I did whatever I wanted, it would be insane. It would be insane. Like, but I'll drink Red Bull in the morning, like for caffeine,
sugar free.
Which I know it's still fuck no, dude. I get the real shit.
Dark blue,
which is still bad. I know it's bad. But I usually sit on my computer for a little bit. Like I need to like kind of hang for a little bit, like just on YouTube and just like bullshitting. Mm-hmm. Usually watch a tape or something like that, and then it kind of depends on what's going on. Like if Marcel doesn't have to work, we'll usually go ride. Anything, like we'll just go find an area and just explore or do whatever. If Marcel is working and Dave has shit to do, then I've usually have to do some vintage stuff, like t-shirts. Yeah. So it's either like going to the post office, shipping orders out, measuring shirts, all that type of shit. And then it just depends on every day. Like it's just every day is like something different. Like there's not like a definitive like I do this. But usually like then the afternoon is like when everybody gets off work and like there's shit to do. Then it's like, okay, then it's game on. We're gonna go ride something or do whatever.
Right.
A magic game or whatever it is, So yeah. So
man, I did the strict morning routine for a while this year, and I felt like pretty damn good. I've been kind of falling off of it a little bit and just kind of doing whatever. Like this morning I woke up, went for a walk, and hopped in my pool right before this just to like wake up. But for a while, dude, I was like legit wake up, go outside, drink a little bit of coffee, and then meditate, and then go for a walk, and then go to work out, hit the cold plunge. It was a whole thing, and it felt really good. But it's easy to fall out of it. I'm just like, yeah, we'll take the day as it comes. I'm Trey Jones today.
You can't fall out of it if you've never been in it to begin.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Yeah, it's only up from here, Trey.
Maybe I'm in it. Maybe I'm this is my in it.
Let's get you some caffeine without spiking your insulin first thing in the morning.
I don't give a fuck, dude.
I know you don't. Why don't you just go back to soda, bro?
I feel like shit all the time, so this is just my normal.
Yeah, that's I guess. Fuck. It's crazy to think about because I remember it being my normal when I was like out of shape and pretty bad. I felt like shit all the time, but I was just like, yeah, this is normal. And then as soon as I got healthy, I was like, oh, people feel like this is fucking nuts.
Well, it was weird because it's like whenever I quit drinking soda, I was expecting it, like everybody's like, oh dude, when you stop drinking soda, you're gonna feel so much better, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's fucking do it. I'm gonna stop drinking soda. I'm gonna be like feeling so good. And I stopped drinking soda and I was like, yeah, this sucks. I'm not riding better. I don't feel better. Or I don't like.
This is
I don't know,
stupid.
man. I'm not. I know I have an unpopular opinion, but I'll just keep my shitty opinion about health to myself. But
There you go.
whatever.
What's your shitty opinion about health? That
I don't think anything makes you
overrated.
better unless I think the only thing that makes you a better bike rider is by riding.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah.
That's it. Like I don't think like I mean it's gonna sound insane, but like I really don't think like working out or doing any of that shit makes you feel better. Like
What about yoga? It does.
I don't fucking know, man. Like
I want to see you try yoga, dude. Let's make
I don't know. It's just I just don't. If I'm not into if I'm not into it, I'm just like no.
Dude, I'm visualizing a video of like doing the morning routine joke that you were talking about, but it's like you actually doing all the good shit, and it's just you suffering through it. You're like in down dog, and you're just like fuck this, I hate this. Dude. Just doing
like,
some morning yoga.
I'm not like arguing health. I understand, like, cause like after Swampfest, like my back was pretty severely fucked up from like working so long, and I had to like do all these stretches because my hamstrings were my legs were so tense and so I don't know, I guess
Tight,
stretched out or whatever. That when I was having to bend over so much for Swampfest shit and doing so much shit on my feet that my back was like I guess my back was stretching and my legs weren't stretching, and it caused like my lower back to like shut, like my body literally like shut down. I couldn't ride for like God 2 months
that
like that.
Yikes.
And I ended up having to go to the doctor and like do all these crazy stretches and shit to like get my shit like back to normal. But I'm good now. So
can you touch your toes now?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
That's a good measure for if you need some stretching in your life, is if you can touch your toes. So I think stretching's pretty dope. Big fan. Anyway, you mentioned Swampfest. What's going on? What's going on with what month is it? November? When is Swampfest gonna be?
No, it's February 17th is Swampfest.
It's coming.
But we're in full. It's like full. I don't like put anything on my calendar as far as like riding or trips or anything like that during this period, just because I know things come up, and I know that like, you know, I could have, you know, Monster call me tomorrow and be like, hey, can we hop on the phone, blah, blah, blah. And like when I'm on the thing is that I don't do Swampfest full time, you know, like I'm not like I don't work in an office and have meetings regularly and like deal with that amount of like stress all the time. Mm-hmm. So whenever I get hit with it, I'm not very good at it. Like I'm not good at like being organized and having just like having that, I don't know how to describe it. Like my brain gets cloudy like from doing it. Like I feel like if I'm like too in the zone about Swampfest, like I can't do anything else. I can't think about it. I can't think about riding. I can't do anything. Like I have to be like thinking about like what we're doing, what the plan is, especially when it comes to like bigger sponsors where it's like, okay, dude, like I gotta nail this. Like I gotta nail this in order to like, you know, make this shit happen. I have to really focus on it. So like I can't be like on a riding trip and then dip out for a little bit and take a Swampfest call and then get back on my bike and film a clip. It's like no, it's like either one or the other. It's like I'm either riding all day long and like focusing on that, or I need to focus on Swampfest shit and like just organize. And since we moved to a new location, it's like there's a lot of like talking to the new owner, telling him what to expect, like making sure he's okay with stuff. And it's like no matter how many times I tell an owner, like, look, there's gonna be a huge fire. There's gonna be a lot of fireworks. Are you cool with it? They're like, yep, no problem. I'm like, okay, I don't believe you until it happens.
Yeah.
I don't believe you till the day after and there's been no issues. Yeah. That I'm like, are you sure, dude? Like, do you know what's about to happen? Like, you're sure. It was the first thing when I had a meeting with the new complex at Waldo was like, I was like, hey, before we go any further in this conversation, I just want to make sure that you guys understand that like what we do is we have like an 80-foot tall fire and there's a lot of people with fireworks. And if you guys are not okay with people having full freedom to do whatever they want here, then this meeting is done. Like that's the first step of it. And the guy was like, yeah, man, it shouldn't be a problem. There's a fireworks store right across the street, so we should be set up and good to go. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't need supplied fireworks. I just want to make sure that you guys are cool with what's going to go on. He's like, oh, yeah, man, we got 180 acres. That's why we have this much room. Leave it around. And I was like, all right, perfect. Like,
nice.
You know, that's the major concern. And then, but and I had a meeting with them and they were like 100% down with doing everything. And
what's the pitch? Like, what's that like when you talk to a new venue? Like, hey, check out this video. My friend's jumping off of a 50-foot thing into a 2-foot pool. There's a monster truck, huge fire. Everybody's rowdy and shitty. You want to do it?
Like, what's the pitch? It's like I have a presentation deck that I send out, or that I mean, yeah, I guess I send it out.
Damn, I want to see that.
Just sponsorships and stuff like that. That's just kind of like is like a general it's a general, if you didn't know anything about Swampfest and you look through this slideshow of stuff, you would know exactly what Swampfest is, why we do it, how many people were there, what were the past sponsors, what are the views on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the analytics, all that stuff, to where like you have no questions afterwards of nice. Like what goes on. Because a lot of brands, it's like, you know, if I want to pull off a new brand, it's like
you got to pitch them.
And they don't even know what BMX really does. It's like I need to have something on deck ready to go. And now that the Border has helped me the past few years, like they've made the deck and like established it to where now each year we can just go in and just like spruce it up, add the updated information, and kind of just like check all the boxes. And then usually during Swampfest, like if I see a video that has a lot of views, I note it in my phone. So I'm constantly keeping track of it, of like, oh, look, that video has a lot of views. Oh shit, that has a lot. That has a lot. That has a lot. So then whenever we go to do the presentation deck, I can show the top, 20 most viewed videos of the event. So brands understand why they're paying money. This is how many eyes you're going to get on your logo and blah, 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 and all that shit. So, but yeah, so we have that to give to somebody, and the new location is like super sick, dude. It's like, I couldn't be more stoked on it. Like, it's because before we always did the event on like the whole shot of a moto track, like where the gate is, where they all take off. Mm-hmm. So I was always confined to like this rectangle, like you can only go this far and you only go this far, and that's it. And this year I got like unlimited room. So me and Dave were talking, and I'm like, dude, I don't even know. Like, we're gonna have to figure out like how much square footage we can do, because like if we put a quarter pipe too far away, we gotta make flat bottom all the way there and back.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of wood. Like, so we have to we almost need to figure out like how big logistically we can make the course, like what we can afford, which I've never had that before. Never had that opportunity to go as big as I want. So I'm really,
it's almost like crippling to be able to go as big as you want, because when you're like confined, you can get creative and you have like your constraints. Now you're just like constraintless. Sure. You're like, like that's wild.
Like when we made that castle last year, it was crazy because I was like, yeah, I want to make like a four tier castle. And I was like, okay, well if we're going to do the castle, that means the top is going to have to be like 5 feet wide. And that means the next tier is going to need to be like 10 feet wide, and then that means the tier after that's gonna have to be 20 feet wide, and the one below that's going to be like about almost 30 feet wide. And then you add the quarter pipes, that's another 10 feet, that's 40 feet. Then you add the moats, that turns out to be like 60 feet. We only got 80 feet of room to go. Yeah. So I was like, fuck, dude, we're gonna have to figure out, like, you don't realize that like when you build something, like you have to start from the top and like you figure out how far it goes, because you got to have enough flat bottom. You got to have enough, but not too much flat bottom. It's a hard, there's a lot more measuring and like figuring out where we can fit shit in order for it to work, because there's gonna be so many people also that you want it to work. You want it to like flow. You don't want it to just be like a fucking traffic jam of like everybody hits a quarter pipe and then it's just like, boom, there's nothing there. And then you have a lot of people. Like you gotta like kind of account for all that stuff. And that's like that's not like the fun part of, I mean, it's fun because you're trying to figure it out, but it's like money wise, I don't have an unlimited budget. So it's like, I have to figure out like how much room can we actually do? How many obstacles do we have? Where do we need to fit stuff? And it's like
You're
it's really
fucking engineering, dude. Yeah. You're being a skate park engineer just to burn it all, which is so wild to me. Like,
but it's
do you
also
think after each, has there been a Swamp Fest so far where you're like, man, I wish we could have kept that setup, like instead of setting it all on fire?
Yes. I mean, we've got it pretty good now to where I keep all the metal in the skate light. Like I get like a squad out there and like peel up all the skate light. Like I'll get like, and once we start taking up skate light, then everybody wants to hop in and start helping. So like I can just sit there in the skid steer and it's just like everybody just like piles it up and then I drive it over and dump it off and come back and it's like so we can kind of like peel all the material off because like that shit doesn't go bad. So we can just keep using it every year and every year and every year and that helps the cost because then we don't need as much material. And then the metal, we try to like take all the coping off of everything, all the angle iron off of everything, try to chop up the swamp rail, keep that because that shit doesn't go bad either, you know? So we try to keep it very DIY in order of like recycling it and keeping that going. But as far as plywood and shit, man, like there ain't not like a lot of people were like, you know, you should give that quarter pipe to a local, you know, scene or whatever. And I'm like, that shit's built with particle board. It's built like dog shit, and it has one layer of particle board on it with some skate light. If you want it, if you can get it home without it falling apart, go for it.
Yeah, for real.
You won't. You will not get it home without it falling apart. I promise you that. Yeah. I've done it. I've tried to move a Swampfest inside. It does not work. It is not. It is fucking terrible. It is the worst shit ever. So people always get mad about like us wasting shit, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do. It doesn't work that way. Like what? Oh, you want the castle? Yeah. You want the castle? Go for it.
Come get it.
Get the castle? No, you can't. So what are you gonna do? Like, it's just like it's a really complicated thing. But
it's complicated as hell, dude. There's so much that goes into it, and then you just burn it all. It's so wild.
Well, it's cool because this year I brought Vishen to do that video, and that was really awesome because he's so good at that stuff of like doing documentary style stuff to where we just want to show people that like we're just a small group of guys trying to make something cool happen. Like it's not, you know, like a street
big company.
Like it's not like I hire a production company to come out and they do the shit and that's it. Like it's like, no, I'm out there having to duct tape 2 hoses together to make sure that we can get water to here so we have enough water for the swamp rail. You know, it's like it's as like DIY as it possibly gets, and it's easier for brands to want to be a part of it when they understand that it's a group of guys trying to make something cool happen. It's not a company, like a faceless company where it's like, this is, you know, fucking so-and-so event company. It's like, who runs it? Oh, it's just some random guys they hired. Like when you can put a face to it and you can see that it's real working class people trying to make some shit happen. It's like, I feel like the brands believe in it more and they know their money is going to buy some particle board to put on the ground, you know? So it's like, it makes more sense. But
when you think about the future of it, I mean, I'm sure you don't get too far ahead, and I like almost answered the question as I was thinking of it. I was just like, what do you think about the future of Swampfest? Do you see it? Could it become a company, like a big thing that's more repeatable and be, like you mentioned, Street League? Like, what if it could become that? But then I was thinking, and I was like, no, you probably just focus on trying to keep it real and keep doing it every year and see what happens. Like,
I think that I try to make sure that the ethos of the event stays the same.
That was a corporate ass sentence right there, dude. I'm trying to make sure that the ethos is consistent within our company.
Like there's certain things that have to stay the same.
Yeah.
We can't change. Like I've had plenty of opportunities to like with Swampfest to have you heard of Mike Busey at all?
Mike Busey. Related to Gary Busey? No, I don't know.
Yes. Google,
oh, for real?
Yeah. Google Mike Busey real quick. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you Google it and see what you find out.
Oh, shit. Look at him. Is he related to Gary Busey? He is, huh? He looks like it.
So pretty much he is like a dude in Central Florida that has all these strippers and OnlyFans girls at his house, and he has like a private Snapchat, and it's just like the douchiest fucking jug fest ever at his house. And he was like, yeah, man, you could come do it at my house, we blah blah blah, and we could get 20,000 people there. And and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, I probably could. Like if I took Swampfest to your house and I just sold the fuck out and I made it the most white trash fucking just terrible representation of like what I'm about, yeah, I could cash in easily. But I don't, because this shit's like, it's serious. This is like a serious thing that we do for like bike riding. It's not like a joke like fest thing where it's like, oh, strippers walking around and look at that hot chick. It's like, no, dude, this shit ain't like, so it's like I've had plenty of opportunities to, and I've had,
dude, I can't stop looking at Mike Busey. I don't know.
but that's what I'm saying, is that it's like I try to make sure it stays.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a BMX event if you moved it there, No,
it's like I have to make sure it stays underground, it stays core, it stays involving skating and shit like that. That's because I'm home with Gregson, and Gregson's like, hey, I'll bring some skaters out, we'll go do a jam. All right, cool.
Yeah,
we just did it.
I thought that was sick as fuck. That skaters are more involved.
Like now it's like progressed to this thing where it's like skaters are psyched on it, and I'm like, oh, cool, that's sick. It's not like this thing where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring skateboarding in so that I can cash in on that. Like it's not. That's not a thing, like that's not how this shit works.
Step 4 of the plan is to incorporate skateboarders, because that industry has more money.
I try to make sure that it gets better every year. I don't want to that's why those COVID years fucking took years off my life, is because 2019 was so good and it was such a high, and then we went through COVID and I had to cancel and all this shit, and then those 2 years, the one where we had to do it inside and then the one really muddy year, they weren't as good because it was forces outside of my control. And it doesn't matter if it's forced outside your control. People go and they're like, oh, that wasn't as fun as last year.
Right.
And that's not good. So it's my goal. And after we did this last year, everybody's like, dude, that was insane. It was amazing. And I was like, yeah, this is the event I've been trying to do this entire time. I've been trying to do this entire time, but I've been getting shit on with weather and COVID and all these things. And it's finally now I feel like we're back in a place where it's we can progress. And I want to make sure every year Swampfest progresses. I want to every year to get bigger, better. The ramps are better to ride. The setups are still crazy, but they're doable. And I feel like we've tried to find that happy medium of oh, it's crazy, but it's still tangible and people can still ride it and it's still fun. Where it's I feel like for a few years I was just trying to kill somebody by making the craziest thing possible.
Just trying to kill somebody.
I wasn't trying to, but that was what was happening. Yeah. And it got to the point where I was like, fuck, we need to kind of scale that back. We need to stop doing so much death defying shit and make it more tangible. And this year it was much more user friendly and everybody had a lot more fun. And having something like the castle that was something that was the identity of the event.
Right.
This is the theme.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is the big thing. It's not branded by anybody. It's just a Swampfest castle, and everybody walks in whoa, that's sick. And it's the heart of the event. It's I realized I'm that's cool.
What prompted the castle idea? I agree, it's cool and a centerpiece. But sorry to interject, but what prompted the castle? Because I think about Disney, and I'm like, did Disney have anything to do with the castle idea?
I mean, we're in Central Florida, and this is where Disney World is, and I think we're always I have a laundry list of Swampfest obstacles in my phone of us out bullshitting, and Dave's like, we should build a castle, and I was like, fuck, that would be fun to build. He's like, yeah, we can have quarter pipes going up each side, and I can make all these spires with roofs on them and shit. And I was like, oh, that'd be funny. And then nothing really ever came of it. We just kind of thought about it. And then Dave's like, yeah, well, if we do the castle, then I can put the castle on the flyer. And then whatever castle I draw on the flyer, I'll try to make sure that we build the castle that's on the flyer in real life.
Sick.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. so it kind of becomes like a theme, and then it kind of became this thing where like people started calling it like the Tragic Kingdom and all these things, and I was like,
Tragic Kingdom, sick. Dude, that's fire.
Yeah, like they kind of like or somebody was like Disney's like the happiest place on earth. Everybody's like it's like the scariest place on earth and shit like that, and like it started taking on this thing where I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like there's like a theme to it. Like it just has more of like an identity. I don't even know.
Yeah,
like, I really don't even know how to describe it. It just kind of happened, and I was like, damn, we should do that. Like we should do that again. And so this year is gonna be pirate themed and
sick.
Something I'm not gonna say what it is, but there will be something featured.
There will be a pirate ship
built in real life.
You don't have to say it, but if it's pirate themed, it's a pirate ship, and there's going to be dope ass obstacles incorporated with this pirate ship. And I'll be damned if I'm wrong. I would bet $50 that I'm right.
Yeah. So, but
that's awesome.
But this year's gonna be crazy though. It's gonna be really crazy, and it's cool because this year we have 2 ponds that are like 16 foot deep. So this year we'll have a lot more like we could have like a lake jump. We could have like all these like we're like, oh dude, what if we did like a mini ramp that was just like floating out there that people like there's no way to get to. People have to like swim out and then put their bike on and they can like ride it in the middle. And there's no way. Like so like we started thinking about all these things of like, ways that we could incorporate the water and do more water slides and almost more like amusement park shit. Like just make like we had that water slide loop last year, and like the amount of people that are just jumping off the castle in the water. I'm like, this is awesome. That's not even a ramp.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with bike riding, but like people are like, this is awesome. This is great. So I'm like, we need to have more water slides next year, fucking trampolines, like we just need to make it just like so much fun and so ridiculous that like people walk away just being like, that was the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. Like that.
Hell yeah.
That's like, I've realized that is the main thing that we have to stick to is people having fun, no matter if they're on a bike, skateboard, not even riding at all. Like I just want people to enjoy themselves and it just be a full on party celebration of just like, fun.
Fuck so, yeah. When does like I mean, I guess as soon as you tear down and clean up from last year's, that's kind of when you start thinking about this year's. But when do you start taking it serious and like, okay, we got to figure out a plan and like with the planning phases of this event, how long does this last?
Yeah. So my Ryan Clemens does all of the organizational stuff behind the scenes as far as like reaching out to like bigger brands like Monster and the huge brands, like the big corporate ones, and then he does all like they do all the bookkeeping for me as well behind the scenes.
Nice.
So then I don't get fucked up with taxes and all that shit. Like they help me like organize behind and just leave all the creative to me, where I can just focus on like I focus on the BMX brand, doing the BMX brands and the event itself, and just doing my thing, and then they handle the back end. So I actually have a Swampfest meeting once a week all year round about the event, where we're at, what we need to do, all things like that. If he hears of any brands that are interested, if I hear of any brands that are interested, we make notes the whole year round. Because dude, I hear about Swampfest everywhere I go. Like no matter what.
Yeah, of course.
Like no, like it could be June and I'm at a Vans contest and somebody walks up and they're like, hey man, hey, my buddy lives in Florida. He was talking about that. He knows a guy with a monster truck. You might want to hit him up about Swampfest, and I have to make a note of it. Yeah. Like whatever it is, like that shit happens constantly. Yeah. So I have to like keep track of that stuff and make sure it's noted. And like this year, especially, I tried to be ahead of the curve as far as like giving brands time to decide if they want to be in the event, because if I don't give them enough time, especially now that we push the event into February, that means I have to have the sponsors figured out by beginning of January. So that means around, but then you knock out Thanksgiving, that's a chunk. You knock out between Christmas and New Year's, that's a chunk. So it's like I got to decide now, even though the event's not for 2 months. I have to figure it out right now. And then once I get the brands figured out, then I figure out how many obstacles we need. Then I start trying to figure out like a wood count, and I like all this, because it's like I don't know how much we can do until I figure out how much money we have to spend. Like I don't have I don't have a credit card with an unlimited budget to where it's like, okay, whatever it costs, we got to do it. It's like I get X amount of dollars and whatever it is, like that's what we can do. Like, you know, to where it's like, yeah, if it were up to me, like I would pay all my guys, you know, astronomical numbers. I would let Vish stay on site in a hotel for 2 months, and he can film whatever he wants and pay him out the ass. But it's like I don't have that, and it's like that's like what I get so frustrated when I see like all the Olympic stuff. Is that I see how much money they put into that stuff, and I see how much money it goes into it, and like, and I'm just like, if I had that budget, I could do the most insane event of all time. Like if I had a quarter of the budget that they had, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But so it's like but it all depends on what we do in the event is how much money we have, you know.
Almost, it's like a similar concept to what we were saying earlier with like the constraints make it better. Like you getting your budget, and then like how can we milk the most out of this? Like makes it pretty special and dope, I think.
But also like not getting the most out of the budget, but not sacrificing anything.
Yeah.
Like not sacrificing, not being like, okay, well this year this obstacle is a flat rail because well it's all we can afford and we made most of it. It's like no, it has to be good. It has to be good no matter what it is, no matter what it costs. That's why we started using a lot of dirt, because I started figuring out, oh well, if I use dirt, I can pile it up and I can shape it, and then we can just put like a layer of plywood on top of it instead of building a structure. And so we've kind of figured out these little techniques that work better, like where we can make something big and massive and awesome, but like for as cheap as possible. Like I literally have a pile of material on the side of my house right now that I collect all year long for Swampfest.
Nice.
Like we're literally going to Tampa next week to tear down a mini ramp to get material for Swampfest. Like it's constant.
You created a monster, dude.
It's constant, but it's a
swamp monster.
Because I know if I have more material, I can make it better. I can make it better, and I just want to make something better and better and better each year. But that just costs more and more money, and I don't have the money, so I got to figure out how to do it. So, but yeah, dude, it's. But getting back to what you said, like, when do I start? It's like it doesn't stop. I mean, spring is like I kind of chill a little bit, like, but as soon as I see how the event goes, and I see, okay, we need to fix that, we need to fix that, we need to fix that. Right. I immediately start making those changes for next year. Where like this year, we saw the skaters, they did the rail, and I was like, okay, the rail was too small last year. We got to make that bigger. We got to focus on getting a bigger rail for next year. Okay, it seems like people didn't like, you know, this. Oh, we did the tunnel last year. Let's not do a tunnel this year. Mm-hmm. We still have the roller coaster rail. How are we going to use that? Like, you know, it's fucking constant. It's constantly. And it's not on just my mind, it's on everybody's minds. Dave, Marcel, Jay, like, and we're all constantly thinking about Swampfest and thinking about if we see an insane video on Instagram of like, you know, some kid jumping onto a trampoline and eating shit, we're like, we need a trampoline next year.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and like they'll send it to me and like, we need this for Swampfest next year. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'll write it down. Like, so we're all thinking about how to make it better. And it's not like we just sit down and plan it out for a month and then make it happen. It's like, it's a full. I know. Kelsey hates hearing about Swampfest. I just talk about it 24 hours.
Oh, your stupid event.
Like, yeah, I know Swampfest. Yeah, you want to build this? All right, cool. Like, whatever.
I get it.
Okay, we get it. So, and it's like I even feel bad like talking about it to other people because I'm just like, look, I know, like, but it's just on my mind 24 hours a day, and I just want it to like, I just want it to be good.
He's talking about his fucking
so good.
His stupid festival again. Trey won't shut up about his little BMX festival. Dude, I gotta pee. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm about to explode. Be right back. We're back. We got our Zevias.
Healthy boys.
Healthy boys, dude. This helped me lose 65 pounds.
Yeah, not me.
Anything else about Swampfest? Anything exciting besides it being pirate shippy? There's going to be trampolines. It's going to be more people than ever at a big new venue.
We have like actual woods this year to build jumps in, which will be cool.
Nice.
Like, and we have like unlimited room, so we can kind of like It's like the same thing as like the limited space where it's like years have always been like constraint to like, okay, you can only go this far and your starting point's here. So it's like I can only fit so much shit in there. So this year it's like we have like woods that are unlimited, a field that's unlimited, so it'll be good. And Dave King, we're actually doing we're building the dirt jumps in next month, in the middle of next month, because it's hard with the jumps because sometimes I like if I'm building ramps and the guys are building the jumps, it's like when the jumps get done, they'll be like still like kind of soft right before the event. Like they don't have time to like get hard. And also like the guys building the jumps, they get it done in like 5 days and they're done. And then it's hard for me to like fly somebody down for a week or whatever, and then they fly home and then they come back for the event. It's like kind of hard to like in a short period of time, you know? So I talked to Dave King and my buddy Joey. They're gonna come down in December and knock out the jumps in like a week, and then they're all gonna go home, and then that way the jumps will be done and good to go, and they can sit there and harden up and shit. We can ride them in, and then right before the event they'll come back down and dial them in and be good to go. So that's technically the build will start next month, but just for a week, and then I go and then come back.
Yeah.
But I think that the official build is going to start on the 15th of January.
With so much space this year, has anybody? I've never been, so I don't know. But live music?
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
What's up with you Arizona guys? You Arizona, like all fuck Frank, Lufa, all of y'all. Y'all
Frank and Lufa haven't been to one either?
Huh?
They haven't been to one either.
I don't think so.
That's because
they're like it's like
swamp, get real.
Like, oh my god, it's just
ew, it's messy,
like dirt and stuff, and it's just a lot. Like it's just a lot. I'm like,
I could hear Lufa saying that. And I kind of agree, it's a lot. I don't want to get dirty, but if there's live music and it's like has there been live music?
That's music out of everything you're saying. If there's live, you'll go. Yeah,
that's just what's on my mind right now. I'll go if it's if you get fucking Post Malone. I don't know.
I don't want you to come, dude. I don't want you to come.
I would love to come, dude. Maybe this year will be the year. I mean,
no, it won't. You ain't gonna come.
Maybe it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Nobody from Arizona is gonna go.
Florida, get real. Get real.
For some reason, people from Arizona have like this like vendetta against Florida, where they like it's like another warm place that people go, and they're just like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, I already live in an oven.
I don't like it there. I don't like it there.
I don't want to.
Everybody in Arizona, they all like, no, I don't like it.
I don't want to. You can't make me go to Florida.
They hate it so much.
But yeah, I was just thinking about it. Like you got woods, dirt jumps, and then a bunch of space between wherever the main obstacle will be, and then you could just have like it could morph into a festival. Speaking of different directions it could take, but that would be interesting to. But then there's so much more I'm overwhelmed just trying to put together or trying to think about you putting it together. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot, dude. And then you have a team helping you, so that's nice, but still, there's so much logistics and thought, brain real estate. So then to add like a proper festival type of thing, it's like, it's too much.
Well, it's like one of those things where people always like they always approach me or like they'll tell me like, you should really blah 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 blah, like, oh, you should have a live stream for the event.
Yeah, I should
or like or you should have like a battle of the bands, like, or you should have blah 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 blah, like all these things. And I'm like, yeah, in theory, yes, that makes sense. Like, like all these great ideas that people come to me with live stream, whether I had people talking to me about a live stream last night, like, you should do a live stream, you could, if somebody paid $5 they could watch you, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand that it's like me emailing a live stream company, they getting back to me organizing with them showing up on site, me having to figure out with them, they have to do it, I have to post it on social media, they got to make the post. It's like, it's not just like, yeah, just do it. Yeah. It's like, I already like, if it doesn't make the event better, if it is not the merch booth or doing the event that's already exist, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not putting in any, some people do. I don't have the bandwidth for that. My brain, I already get too stressed out and shit. I can't, if I could hire somebody to do it, but I don't have like business knowledge. I don't have I'm not good at it. So it's really hard for me to like figure out how to do that's why I need like people like the border involved, because I'm just like my brain can't handle it. I don't have enough. I'm so worried about making the event perfect that like people are like, oh yeah, you should have like open vending. Like if people want to come in and like sell stuff for the day. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great, in theory, that would be great because it would bring in a bunch of revenue for the event or whatever. But it's like that person shows up at the gate. They're going to text me. They're going to wonder if there's power. I have to come over. Hey, this power outlet doesn't work. I have to talk to them. I got to go to the front gate. Hey, why doesn't that power pole work? They don't need this. They're wondering if when the event's going to stop. It's just like there's so much to every little step that it's like I can't add any more steps.
Yeah.
Can't add any more steps. Like there's no more like I don't have it in me. Like, yeah, maybe if I had like a producer or something, like somebody on site, like if I could be like, yeah, hey, or talk to this guy. But I don't have that guy. I don't have a guy because none of my friends want to work the event. They want to be there.
Yeah.
I want to be there. They want to hang out. Like it's like we've worked all month to do it. They want to enjoy it. Like, yeah, like Dave will be there if I'm like, yo, Dave, this is falling apart. Can you grab your drill and like let's prop this up or whatever? That's fine. But like it's almost like I need people that don't even want to go to the event to work the event in order for them to like
to walk around with a clipboard, like, a clipboard and a walkie-talkie and just put out fires, because that's kind of what
then it's like, but then that's like all that's like corporate shit. Like I don't want that. Yeah. Like I don't want like
what a conundrum.
I don't want like a team of people that are all like. Yeah. That's weird too. Like I want like a shitty PA in the back of a truck and Steve Crano like just trying to say what's going on. Like, yeah, because I invest in some nice PA system. Like, yeah, of course. But it's like we got to keep it DIY. Like we have to keep it like the way it is. Like it can't get too nice. Like it can't. It's got to stay the way it is. That's what the event is.
Who's the perfect person in BMX to be that PA or to be the producer? Who do you picture? Of anybody in BMX of all time to be the perfect person to walk around with a clipboard and a headset on and scream at people? Who's the Swampfest dictator?
I think. I feel like it would need to be some type of TM position. Like somebody that's got their shit together. That knows
I'm not gonna lie, Chadwick entered the mind. I was like, maybe Chadwick.
Yeah, but he would get too overwhelmed. He'd
have a meltdown.
He would get too overwhelmed with it. Maybe like Stu Johnson. He'd probably be really good at it.
Dude,
because he's like really assertive and really good at like
he's really good at the what's it called? The X Games Real BMX at the
because he already has
school. Like
he already has
on it.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah. So probably maybe Stu, like he'd probably be a good person for it, or like Mark Losey, maybe.
Yeah,
Mark Losey would be good at it too. Yeah. You need to get him on the podcast.
I would love to talk to Losey. I think
you gotta do your homework. What?
Yeah. I think we've DM'd about it, but I have a tendency I get a real boner for this podcast, and then I'm DMing doing outreach, and then I like my other life comes into play, and then I kind of forget about it, and then I go back and I'm like, I don't even know who I want to talk to, but I have like people that I've told that I need to talk to.
I'm make a list.
I'm unorganized.
You gotta do your research before you talk to somebody like Mark Losey.
I'll tell you who's not going to be on the clipboard is me. Me running that event. That ain't for me. As much as I want to be like an organized type A person, I'm just not. I just ain't gonna.
Yeah, happen. I'm trying to be like with Swampfest. I need to be better, but it's really hard. It's just
like changing a core personality trait. I ain't got it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I'm so I'm like so focused on the creative of it. Like I guess it's creative. I hate using that word because it sounds just so like.
I love it when people are like, he's just a creative. It's like, what are you fucking saying?
But it's like I guess I just like I understand. I'm like, I understand. I just have it in my head of what the event has to be, like how it has to work.
Yeah.
I understand how it has to work, and it's hard for me sometimes to delegate those things to other people. Like for example, like when people come out and they're like, hey, I want to help. What can I do? And I'm like, yeah,
have my vision.
this,
Do you have
like,
that?
and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, well, this is going to be a hip, and there needs to be plywood that comes down here, and this needs to be stacked up here, but there needs to be enough deck room, because if we don't have enough deck room, the people can't stand there. So it needs to be like 16 foot deep, but then the bank's going to go to 8 feet. So this area needs like, and I'm like, dude, I can't even like tell you what's in my brain of what you can do. You can just pick up trash that, or just carry all that plywood from there to there, and that would be
I could
great.
just
Like,
picture you telling that to somebody, like, and you do that, what you just said, like 4 foot of deck, and then you're just like, never mind, I'm gonna do it. Like, you know,
well,
like
and that's what happens is that I'm and that's what I'm getting at is like I'm not good at I'm not good
delegating.
at I'm not good at Swampfest. Like I'm not good at what I'm trying to learn my best on how to give people tasks and accomplish them, but we're so freestyle of the way the course works and stuff that it's like I don't have a checklist of like, okay, Marcel, your duties today are build these 2 6 foot quarter pipes, move them here, apply this much flat bottom. It's like it doesn't work that way. Like we kind of like we build an obstacle and we're like, ooh, that looks cool. Fuck, we should really add a bank to the side of it. But if we do the bank, then we need to do something here. Okay, like, and then we kind of like, we're like, well, let's just build this and then we'll build the bank. And then we build the
Yeah,
bank and we're like, it really needs a rail on the side of it though. Like that really would make like it's so freestyle because I want it to be good. Like I don't want to just be like, this is what the plan is. I don't give a shit if it's good or not. It's just this is what it's doing. It's like, no, it
right.
has to be done well. And I want people to enjoy it and have a good time. So it's like, and I want the courses to be good. I want it to be like fun to ride. And I think last year we really nailed it with like that literally really tiny mellow double kink rail. Like people loved that thing, man. They
Mm-hmm.
loved it. And I was like, all right, we need to do more of that. People really, really liked that. They enjoyed that. So we need to do more of that. And then it's like, so it's just hard to delegate. It's
Yeah.
hard to delegate responsibilities to people because I have it in my head, but it's hard for me to tell somebody else that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And just underneath this umbrella of like what Swampfest is, you have to focus on like event production, event coordination, you got construction management, construction design, like so many different like full-time jobs that you're trying to just wiggle
Yeah.
together, which I can empathize. I haven't
Yeah.
done it, but I can imagine.
I think this year I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna add one other person to the crew that knows how to build ramps because that's one thing that's hard is that it's like a lot we have a lot of shit that we have to build is just like bullshit. Like a deck for this, like when you land off the box jump, there needs to be a quarter pipe there. We need
Mm-hmm.
something here. Like just put a 6 foot quarter pipe here. But it's like I'm the only one that's like understands in my head what like, oh yeah, it needs to be 6 foot tall. Let's do like an 8 foot radius. Maybe put like a 2 foot extension on it and just do the studs like 8 inches on center and blah blah blah. Like if I tell somebody else that, they're like, what? And like so I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do it. Like you just do blah blah blah. And I'm like, I need a ramp builder there to be like, hey, can you give me 10 6 foot tall quarter pipes so I can just go that goes there, 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 and then one over there, and one back there. So it just fills in the space and I can focus on like, you know, building a castle or like weird shit like that. That's like only I have in my head. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so,
Or
but
building a pirate ship.
possibly
Mm-hmm.
they'll see.
Mm-hmm.
They'll see.
Arr, matey. Well, that's exciting, dude. Swampfest is coming up. We're in the deadline for it. Um, what else is going on? What's the latest in BMX in Trey's world? What are you paying attention to? Give me some news.
Mm, I don't pay attention to shit.
Gossip, bro.
I don't pay attention to shit.
You don't have any you don't have any tea?
New favorite writers? No, I don't.
Hmm.
I don't like. Yeah, I think the this will be my 2 cents on the situation that we were talking about in the car yesterday when we were driving home from the skate park. Is that or 2 days ago? Jabe watched a new video that came out and he's like, dude, I don't get it. Like that just didn't do it for me. Like that with all the people. I'm not gonna say what video it was, but he's like, yeah, there's like a video came out and like, I don't know. I just didn't like, I don't know. I just didn't really think it was that good. Like it was a lot of just like California spots and people just doing like the same shit and it just doesn't do it for me. And I'm like, yeah, I feel that way too. like, why is that? Like, we were like genuinely like concerned. Like, we were all like, why do we feel that way?
Are we old?
Like, we were just, well, we were just like, I was just like curious. I'm just like, what? And I think it's like with us seeing so much like BMX content on Instagram nowadays, it's almost like, think about if pizza is your favorite food and you eat pizza every single day for 3 meals a day for 2 years straight. And then somebody's like, yeah, guess what? There's a new pizza out. Check this one out.
Like, I don't give a fuck.
You're not going to like it anymore. Even if it was something that you love.
Yeah.
If you have too much of it, you don't like it anymore.
Yep.
And it's like, I feel like that is what's going on in bike riding. It's like, at least for me and like the people that I'm around, is that there's, and I'm not, and I hate people that are like doom and gloom, like, oh, bike riding is so much better back then. I hate that shit. Like, I don't want to, I'm not saying that at all. But it's like, if you see too much of it, you can't absorb it as well.
Yeah, you can't absorb it.
Like, you can't absorb it, like, because you're so full of it that you can't keep taking it in. Yeah, maybe when you're 15, 16 years old, like Marcel's like, yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's great. You know, like, because he's only 19 years old. Yeah. So he doesn't care. But like, for me, like, I've done it for so long, is that it's like perfect example. Elf posted a clip yesterday. Did you see it? He like rode off a storage container onto a shitty trailer and did a crooked grind and like barely got out of it. And I was like, this is cooler than anything I've seen all this year. Just because it was like a shitty clip on a VX of Elf doing something cool. And I was like, that's all I want to see. Like, that's all I want to see. Yep. And
now I've seen it. That's a fire clip.
You know what I mean? It's like that. It's just like, I can't see anymore.
Camera died. Ooh. That's okay. You can still hear me. Let's pause. We'll come back and explain why we're jaded. And we're back.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I don't know.
I think it's only natural, dude.
I don't know what it is. And I think it's like, I think it has to do with like, this might sound like so ridiculous and so far out there, but it's like, I feel like the human condition doesn't really find normal BMX riding impressive anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's like, interesting. Yeah.
Like, I think that what our scale of what we think is crazy nowadays is so obscure and it's so insane. Like, I can sit there and watch, I hate to use Marcel as an example, but like, he's a young kid nowadays. So like, that's my only tangible human being that I'm around that I can compare it to. Is it also, I could watch him on Instagram. It's like, you can scroll up and see a guy jumping off a parking garage and getting decapitated by a truck, and then scroll up and see a guy do a quadruple backflip on a bike, and then scroll up and see like an alligator with 3 heads, and then scroll up. You know what I mean? It's like, you're seeing so, and no reaction, like no reaction at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so why is somebody doing a double peg grind hard 180 down a rail going to be impressive when we're exposed to that all the time?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, and I don't know if I'm right. I'm just like saying, like, this is just observation from the outside, is that I'm just like, is that what's going on?
It doesn't hit. There was something when people are talking about the good old days of BMX, I think what they're like mistakenly, I don't know if it's a mistake, whatever, people can have their opinions, but going back in time, it really was special when you bought the video and you had to take it home and put it in and watch it. You didn't have constant, like, I'm curious about what your algorithm looks like. Like, when you scroll on your phone, have you seen BMX?
I try not to follow any bike riding.
Right? Because it's just like, enough already. You know, I love everybody that I see on there, and I try and...
Let's see if I'll go through it. I'll go through it for you.
Yeah.
First thing is Tony Trujillo's Instagram. Next thing is a Black Sabbath fan page.
Nice.
This one is a guitar comedian that I follow. This is a suggested post, and it's of some Mexican guys singing. This is of a 4-wheel drive van. This is of a guy cutting a tree down and getting ejected. This is another van post. This is the Orlando Magic. This is Omar Hassan. So there's no
BMX. Yeah, nice.
I try not to. I try not to. I mean, if it's like if it's people that I'm close with, I'll because I want to see what my friends are doing. But like, even if a friend of mine is like reposting too much modern BMX, I like have to mute it.
Yeah, right. It's wild how that works.
But
I have to be in the mood.
It makes me feel better about bike riding. Makes me feel a lot better because I don't get burnt out by it. Right. Now, even if I do, like, I try not to watch current videos because I just don't care. I don't like it. It just doesn't. If I see a team mixtape of them going to a stacked ledge and the kid's like, nose manual Smith 180, and I'm just like, dude, I've seen that shit years ago.
Yeah.
I get it. You went to the spot, you were stoked, you got a clip that you were stoked on. That's awesome. That's great for people. I understand people have different progression points and that's what they're into, and that's fine. But just for me personally, I have to remove myself from the bike riding community in order to keep
your stoke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I watch a lot of old videos. Like I watch a bunch of old videos of like shit. Like if we're trying to get ideas for spots or like I don't know.
And it's all cyclical too. You watch some old shit and you see something that you didn't notice before that you're like, oh, I want to try that. Like people, it's funny how that works. Like you can get inspiration from, doesn't matter if it's modern or if it's old. Like if shit gets you pumped up to go make a Trey Jones video, then I think it's for the best.
And it's also like, I feel like, I mean, you know how this is that like you see a video pop up, and even if it's something cool that you're like into, but it's a guy that you've had a bad interaction with that you don't like.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, oh, this would be cool, but fuck that guy. Yeah. Or they're like repping some brand that like you have an issue with. You're like, no, I can't. Damn it. Like, like you're over it. But I'll say the one like the one of the best things going on in BMX right now that I firmly believe in is what Joey Piazza is doing with AMPM. Like, I think that the New York City scene right now is the sickest shit ever. I think it's like, I think that what they're doing is so pure and it's so rad that I just love it. Like whenever I see anything, like, like seeing like, Overdose, me and Dave were talking about this the other day, how it's like he's like Black Man and Overdose Ralph's stories on Instagram are better than anything else happening in BMX at all right now. Because it's like, it's so real and it's so entertaining and it's absolutely batshit crazy and it's hilarious. I love it. It's just so, those dudes are going out and riding every single day, all day long, miles and miles and miles and miles through that city and getting clips all day long.
Yep.
Nobody getting paid, nobody getting sponsored, nothing. Just pure like, just like, I don't know. Just, I think I'm just so jaded on like the modern day bike rider of like this professional fucking athlete, bullshit. That it's like when I see something so pure.
What's this
like,
motion he did?
Just like
professional fucking athlete.
Dudes fucking posting workout videos and shit, and it's like I don't know, dude. Like that shit doesn't do it for me. But like I see something like anything going on in the city with that crew, I'm just like, damn, this is
raw.
There's and real. Pure. It's just pure. It's pure. It's raw, and it's like I just love that shit, like and the Motobunka dudes, all the Japanese Motobunka crew, like. That Killing shit is it is amazing what those dudes do and what they're riding. And it's like, I just like shit that's more tangible. Like I like shit that's more just, I wish when I asked somebody what, a random person on the street, like, what do you think BMX is? They thought about like us going out and riding spots like they do with skateboarding. Like if you ask me like, what's a skateboarder do? And they're like, oh, they go and they jump over fire hydrants and stuff. Like they know what they do.
Yeah. Dude, why don't they do that with us? You ask the layman about BMX, they're going to send you a R. Willie clip, which is
exactly
unbelievable. But it's just like, that's not the same thing as what we're out doing.
And it's like with skate, they've done a good job of like, for some reason they've controlled that narrative. And I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know why. None of it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem the dichotomy between like Bob Burnquist and the mega ramp and skaters hitting a good street spot doesn't seem as far away as like BMX on that side versus BMX in the street. That's interesting to think about.
It's weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's weird. And I'm telling, like, lately we've been like me and like my friends have been trying to like we've been really like breaking down like
we're getting philosophical
bike ride. Just breaking down bike riding and like what is going on? Like what is going on right now? Like, because I know that I'm not the only one that think there's some weird fucking shit going on in bike riding right now. And everybody feels weird about it. There's like the least amount of good content coming out that has ever happened. There's more Instagram clips than ever. And everybody that's really fucking good, nobody cares about. Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is the Russian kid that can do a hanger up a rail to double tail whip have no sponsors and nobody cares?
Yeah. Huh.
How, like that, you know what I mean? Like, how, like, it doesn't, it's just weird, dude. It's weird. I don't know what is going on.
I don't know. And from what I understand, like all the companies are having trouble financially too. And
it's weird, dude. There's some weird.
Maybe picks back up. Who's the latest person when you said the Russian who could like hang her up? Who's somebody that should? I mean, the real question is like who's the last person to like get put on that was a big deal? You know what I mean? Like who's the newest?
I mean, Lewis Mills.
Damn, yeah, but that feels like a while ago. Yeah, those are the dudes.
And I'm not, and I'm really not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm not trying to like, it's just my opinion.
Tragic Mountain.
I'm not trying to be like, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. But like, isn't it weird that the youngest person in the X Games Street Finals is like in their mid-20s?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Who is the youngest?
Like, how is that? Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's so, and I'm not saying that there's no new kids coming out. There's a lot of kids that are coming up that are really, really good. I mean, I fucking ride with Marcel. He's 19 years old. Like I know that there is a lot of young kids, but it's like at one point in time, it was like you looked like an X Games final of like Ty Morrow, Garrett, Sean Sexton, all these dudes, and they were like 18, 19, 21. 20, right. Like they were all like super young, cutting edge, and like the cream of the crop in BMX. And it is not like that anymore.
That's weird.
I don't know. Isn't that weird?
Maybe back in the day, like you get older, older as in like 26, and you let the drinking and partying lifestyle catch up, and then you can't do it anymore. But everybody's more like Nathan and Corey are still as good as ever, and they're pushing 40.
Garrett,
maybe there's something there. But dude, you saying that, like, I watched Road Fools, I don't know, 11 or something the other day, and I was just like, they're 18, like seeing Aaron Ross at 18 years old. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, that's Aaron Ross. He's an adult. But no, it's all just kids. So that's an interesting point.
And it was probably like on that trip, like, I don't know for a fact, but it's like, oh, Corey Nostalgia. Oh, he's like an older guy on the team. And he's like, yeah, I'm 29. You're like,
yeah.
What the fuck? Like, I remember my young kid, I thought somebody like that was older at the time. Right. And in reality, they were younger than what I am now. But for some reason, I'm still relevant.
Like I bet Brian Foster.
I mean, it's like it doesn't make sense on what's going on. I'm like, what in the world? What is happening right now?
Remember the clip of Brian Foster outside of the Road Fools bus, and he's stretching, and he's like, "These young guys that can get out of it." I bet he was 30. How old was he when that clip happened?
I think he was 32.
Yeah, that's wild. That's so wild. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm an old man." It's like, no, you're not.
And I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers, and I don't know what's going on. And there are
somebody will leave a comment below with the answers.
But it is strange right now. Strange times of like, I don't know if it's like maybe brands not investing in riders as much. Maybe like we're gonna make this kid the next thing. You know, it's like it's so dependent on like the kid, where it's like you need to sit in front of your house on your Sub Rosa rail and film Instagram clips and make it. We're not gonna get you on a trip with a veteran. You just got to go do it by yourself. Right. And it's like
there's no star making. You have to make yourself the star.
There is. It's just very minimal. It's just not. I don't know. It's weird. It's a strange thing, man.
It's an interesting
strange
point.
times right now. It's weird.
What you
I
just
don't.
said about like putting him on a trip with a veteran, like take a young buck and just make him in his own video, and it's kind of like cool, yeah, I love it. But if you put him with somebody who's established, then it's all immediately you're just like, oh yeah, that's the guy, you know, like.
Yeah, well, it was like I went on a trip with Alistair Witten when I was like 19,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and I was like, damn, this dude's legit. You know, I was on a trip with Dak when I was, in Chase when I was 17. You
Yeah,
know, like I was introduced to being like right in front of like, this is where you could be.
yeah,
Like right in front of you. That's where you could be. Like, watch what he does and you'll be there too. And it's like now, it's like when a kid is just like, he gets free frames and he's at his house and just going out and ride this crew. He has no connection with
yeah,
anything. Like, I mean, thank God that Marcel can like go out to California and ride with Dak and all these and D Hart and all these people that like he gets it and he's around me. He gets like what is going on because he gets told what's going on. He gets told like this is what you do. This is what a pro does. Where I think a lot of AMs maybe don't have that. I don't know. I don't like I said, I am not I have no facts to back up anything I'm saying. I'm just like saying like
speculation, baby.
there is some weird shit going on, and all I'm trying to do at Swampfest is just to try to the keep the what I believe in going.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
that's
It makes me think about like what, remedies could be. And it's just like we need trips like Road Fools used to be and more team trips and more. I don't even know. But I think what Dig just did with getting a bunch of different brands together and do a long trip that's going to come out soonish, I think, is very exciting. That's kind of like a good.
yeah.
Like we can sit back and be like, so, blah blah blah. But there is dope shit happening thanks to you.
No, there is for sure, and that's like I really want to preface that like I'm not dooming and glooming. I don't want
Yeah.
to do that. I'm just trying to like bring awareness to like, hey, you know, maybe we look at what's going on. Isn't it kind of weird, guys? Like, but like, what was that Dig trip? I didn't really like.
I
Saw like
I couldn't even tell you. I know that there was like multiple brands involved, so it wasn't like one company's trip. They got in a van and went all over Europe and just filmed dope shit and made like a trip video out of it. So it's reminiscent of like a Road Fools or a Props or
that's cool.
something like that, just a mega tour type of vibe, but modern. So fucking you got Garrett in the van with Trent and just like mixing worlds. I think Felix and all them got involved, and I don't know. I actually I don't know any details about it. I talked to them maybe a month ago, and I think it's coming out soon. If it's not already, there's no way it's already out. I don't. Yeah, but yeah, this shit's exciting.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we've been going for a while.
Yeah, we have. What's your vintage shit called? Because I remember you came up when I was talking to Jake Seeley about his Unibinner. What's yours?
Oh yeah, it's just Trey's old shirts.
Trey's old shirts. He did a deal with me where I sent him. I won't say the price, but I sent him a X amount. Fuck it, $50, and then he sent me 5 shirts or something. And he selected them. He said, "Tell me some genres," and I was like, "I don't know, like hip hop. I like this, that." And he sent me my favorite one. Is a camel cigarettes promo shirt. Yeah. It's like a pocket white tee and it says the hard pack, and then the back is just the camel hard pack, and I was like, that's fucking sick. That's so sick. Yeah, Jake's sick. So let's see, Trey's old shirts.
Yeah, the vintage shit's fun. I enjoy it. It's fun. Actually, it's funny because I've been talking to Jake more about vintage than I ever have about bike riding ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've probably known Jake since I was, God, 14 years old, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Woodward together, and I don't think we have. I mean, we're just in different camps, Like he was over at Sunday, and I was at Colt, and we just didn't really cross paths that much. And we talk probably every other day about vintage.
Fuck yeah,
constantly.
It's a new thing. Are you doing what he was telling me that he goes to like legit foreclosed houses to try and find vintage shit? Are you doing that stuff?
No, Jake is way more invested than I am. Like I do it like how it kind of happened is that like my dog had to get surgery on his ear, and it was gonna be like a crazy amount of money, like $5,000. And I was like, fuck, I need to sell some stuff. Like I need to figure out, I need to move some stuff around. And so I went to a vintage spot by me, and I was like, look at my closet. I'm like, God, I have so many shirts. I need to get like, I need to just get rid of the stuff that I don't sell or that I don't wear, and go cash it in, and I can get some money that way. And uh, I took it there, and I got probably like $800 or something like that for a few things. I was talking. It's called Foundation. It's just like a record store and vintage spot by my house, and they're like, yeah, dude, you should try start selling vintage. You got a lot of stuff, like, and you know your shit, like, because I've always just been a consumer. I've always like bought shirts, like, ooh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. And I've just bought stuff, and that was it. Like, I knew about it, but I wasn't like in it. Like, I wasn't like didn't hang out with vintage people or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a people. I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh, dude, it's
until
crazy.
I talked to Jake about it. Yeah, it's a whole world.
Oh, dude, it's insane. Like it's weird to me because it's like I hate to always compare it to bike riding, but it's like, our community of what we do, like bike riding, right? Like,
yeah,
what we do is we all each express ourselves in what we do and create videos. And that's it. And you're like, oh, your video was sick. That was awesome. Oh, I liked when you did that. Like, and then they see your video and like, oh, I liked when you did this. And it's like, that's how you connect. Or you guys talk about other videos. Where in vintage, it's like the game is selling stuff. It's weird. It's like the game is like, damn, dude, I saw, that live show you did. You did this much numbers. That's sick. That shirt that you sold, that was sweet. Hey, I saw that you sold a 1975 Kiss shirt. Hey, I have one. It's worth like $120, but I'll let it go to you for 80 if you want it. And they'll be like, oh, cool. Well, I have this, and I'll trade it with you. And you like kind of like the game is buying and selling. And when you see somebody that does it really well, and will, like Jake, for example, of like going to an abandoned house and fucking cleaning up and getting $5-6 grand worth of shirts for free, you're like, damn, it's like filming a crazy video party. You're like, holy damn shit. Like, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like, he just did that. That's insane. Like, it's when people come up on crazy stuff like that, it's like a sick ass move. It's amazing, like, yeah. Or when somebody's like, yo, look what I got. They pull out a crazy shirt and you're like, what? Where'd you find that? Like, it's just weird. It's interesting. But I was always a consumer of it. And then I sold a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I could. And I was talking to Jake about it, and I was like, yeah, dude, I've been thinking about trying to sell vintage. What do you think? And he's like, oh, dude, here, you can hook up with this dude. You could do a live set here, all the blah, blah, blah. And he kind of like connected me with a few people. And then once I connected with those people, and I was like, hey, dude, I'm looking to buy, because the thing is, you always have to like buy low and then sell it on the market. That's like the deal, right? Like, so if a shirt's worth $50, you try to go find it for 10 or 15 or 20 right. or whatever. Like, or if you go to a thrift store, you can get it for, 5 cents, but it's so hard to find stuff. So it's like buying low, and you're like, yeah, I bought this for $10 and I sold it for 50. And it's like, damn, like, you really did that. So I started learning, like, oh, you can buy wholesale from people. Like, if somebody's been sitting on something for a while, they'll let it go to you for less, and just learning that whole thing. And I ended up with a bunch of shirts, and I was like, damn, dude, I had like 100 shirts. I think I could like sell something. And then I did a live show on this app called Whatnot, and I sold everything, and it went great. And I just took all that money, and then I bought 150 shirts with it. So I took that money from that 100 shirts, and I bought 150 shirts, and I did a show with that. And then I buy 200 shirts. And I'm for me, it's different because I don't need to do it for a living. So I can kind of just like use it as like this fun savings account of like, I have this invested in this. If I can take this, $3,000 worth of shirts, and I can turn it into 4, and then I can take it and I can turn it into 5, and I can take it and turn it like, you can, but it's enjoyable. It's like fun. It's fun to like hunt for stuff. Hobby. You're on eBay and you're trying to find deals and you're contacting people, and it's like, it's just a fun thing, and it's not bike riding related, which I love. Like that, I can just like I can focus on it, and it's like a healthy hobby that I can have, that I can make money at, and it's I just treat it as like an investment of, the longer these shirts sit here, they're only going to go up in price. They're only going to get older. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's just a very I don't know. It's really fun. But like I only collect shit that I like. You know what I mean? Like I like heavy metal. I like cartoons. I like wrestling. Like that's the shit that I'm into. Where some guys like go to a thrift store and get a 1995 Tommy Hilfiger shirt and be like, "Yo, this thing is so sick," and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't
not
give a
that
fuck.
sick to me.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But if you want to make a living, that's what you got to do. But Jake is he's legit, man. In the vintage shit, he's like it's
He's
actually pretty
ahead. I
crazy.
could
He's
see
like,
him being ahead.
yeah, he's like a full on like dude in it,
Yeah.
and he's like helped me out a ton. Like even just getting started, where I was like, yo, dude, like I'm willing to spend, you know, I think it was like $500 or something like that. I was like, hey, if I send you $500, like, can you hook me up with a good wholesale deal? And he's like, yeah, dude, I got you. And he like sent me like a ton of shirts where I'm like, all right, cool, like I could sell these shirts for $1,000 or whatever, you know, like so you kind of you just play that game, and it's really fun. I really enjoy it. It's super enjoyable. But yeah, it's funny that I don't even talk to Jake about bike riding at all.
Yeah.
Like literally, no, literally no bike riding at all. Just vintage stuff.
Yep. Man, it's funny how that works. The best homies. I mean, because you've been doing it for so long. How much can you fucking talk about BMX? Even you know, how much can I talk about BMX? I got a podcast.
Yeah.
But let's end on this. I want to ask, what is the most iconic pro wrestling event in your mind, and why?
Iconic pro wrestling event.
Yeah, like there's Rage in the Cage and all that shit. What's the one that?
Probably the Hell in the Cell where Undertaker threw Mankind off the top. I mean, that's yeah. I think it was 1998 Pittsburgh. I don't know if it was a Royal. I know it was Hell in the Cell, but I don't know if it was like a. You ever seen it?
Brutal Hell in a Cell match. No, I was like briefly into it when I was a kid. Like around this is like the era that I would have been watching, but
it is insane, dude.
Look at this.
If you fast forward a little bit to the part where he gets thrown off the top, it is.
The crowd goes fucking nuts, dude. Man, that was hype, dude. That was a totally different like era this time.
And then after he gets thrown up the top, they bring him out on a stretcher, or like they start pulling him out on a stretcher, and he gets off of it, climbs back up on top of the cage, and then he gets like choke slammed through the top of the cage, like through the top onto the mat, like onto his back.
Yeah.
And he has like his like a bunch of his teeth like came out and shit. It's fucked up, dude. It's like it's like some shit where like even if you're not a wrestling fan, you're like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like, did they plan that still? You know, what was I listening to? I was listening to The Rock on Rogan, and he was talking about those days and his like transition from being happy, smiley Rocky Balboa to, or not Balboa, Rocky, whatever, to becoming the heel and his whole in that era. And I was like, that's fucking interesting. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
A man right here, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I was wondering. That's him. Cool. What about now? Is there good wrestling right now?
No.
I
don't. And that's the thing, is that I'm not really much of a. I'm not like, oh, you know what's funny? Look at this. I have this shirt right here, or a cut out of this shirt.
Nice. Hell in a Cell. Yeah, let's go.
With Mankind and Undertaker right here.
It's a damn good shirt.
But no, I'm not, and I'm not like a wrestling fan like in general. Like I'm not like, I definitely don't consider myself an expert on wrestling whatsoever. But like I like Stone Cold, I like Mankind, I like the Undertaker. Like I like these few that their image was like super fucking cool, like really, really like gnarly, like The Rock was very clean cut and like he drove a cool Cadillac, and like Stone Cold would show up and just be like, you're fucking whack because you're a pretty boy, and you know, like, and I thought that was like cool because it was like more raw and more just like, I don't know, I thought that shit was sick. But it's like, I don't, you know, it's wrestling, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like I know, like, you know, like it's I know it's a ridiculous thing. It's not, people that take it seriously, it's like, okay, come on now, that's
yeah,
it's a little much, you know. But
I love it. What are you gonna do the rest of the day? I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, I already asked you all the podcast questions, like Rushmore and riders I should know about and all that. So what are you doing today?
I have a vintage show tomorrow. So I have to get ready for that and kind of set. I do it in this room, but it's like I don't have enough room, so I gotta kind of move some shit around, bring some racks in here, and like have everything like ready to go. And then I just got a bunch of shirts in literally right before I got on here, and I need to price them and measure them. So probably do that.
Got some work ahead.
Kind of cold out right now, but David Marcel can't ride. Jabe is still hurt, so yeah, they're riding today. So, did you see the photo of my brother's hand?
No. Let's see it.
Hold on 1 second.
Is it public?
I don't. I mean, it was posted on the internet, but I'll show you. I'll send you a photo of it right now. Damn, where is it? Damn.
This is good. This is great podcasting.
This is really great.
I was just like lost on my phone for a second. I was like, wait a second, you're still recording.
All right, I just sent it to you.
Oh my God. Oh, is that because he was wearing rings?
How insane is that? So he got his fingers crushed in a lift gate at work. The guy at work was like, he's like, all right, lift it up. And they were just supposed to go up a little bit, and the guy accidentally pressed the button all the way down and went, and it literally snapped all of his fingers in half right here.
Dude,
luckily he had rings on his fingers, so it like
it stopped it, or it like prevented it.
Wow. Otherwise, it probably would have chopped all of his fingers off, and he'd just been in permanent shock the rest of his life.
Dude, yeah, that photo's.
But he can't ride. He can't ride right now because he's still recovering from that.
Yeah, no shit. How long is he out? That's crazy. When was this?
6 weeks was the. He's been out for 6 weeks. They said he needs to wait I think another month maybe, because there's some more healing it has to do. But yeah,
I can't unsee that now. That's fucked.
Pretty crazy, right?
Ooh. All right, that's it. Anything else you want to say, Trey?
Shout out to the Source. Forgot I got on the Source, but
that team is stacked.
The only other thing that I need to plug.
Bro, you know what somebody said in a comments on a Source post? They said, "What if you got Rich Foreign and Bobby Kanode to make a video of this team? It would be the most epic thing ever." And I was just like, "My man, let's do that."
You're like, "Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that."
All right. I'm good.
Good. Thank you, Trey.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, and we'll see everybody next week. Bye. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, or leave a rating, or don't. See you later.